This past weekend, Hurricane Ian left a path of destruction in Florida and made its way up the East Coast. Here at the Lowdown Popcast, we like to send our thoughts and prayers to each and every one of you who have been affected both directly and indirectly. We stand in support with you and will come out of this stronger and better together.
They pop crowds. They pop corn. They pop culture. It's the Lowdown.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the latest installment of the Lowdown Popcast. I am the voice of PCW, Elliot Popston. And to my right at the cool kids table is the founder of the hottest wrestling promotion in the Mid-Atlantic. He's the owner and agent of Flyer Float Travel, where you can book your dream getaway at flyerfloattravel.com. He's the host of the Shane event. He can sell ice to an Eskimo. New York's greatest export, Shane Dorr.
And I must say, we can now add new number one fan of Blue Chair Bay by Kenny Chesney's Mocha Rum Cream. Just add that on there.
And also sitting with us to my left here at the Cool Kids table is the six-time fantasy football champion, podcast enthusiast, soon to be Kevin Nash's favorite podcaster. Just like his favorite wrestler, he's been known to outwork everyone, although some may argue he just works everyone. With his self-proclaimed hottest Funko Pop collection, not your average wrestling mark, Handbook Jonathan Winburn.
Glad to be here.
That was nice.
It was. That was smooth.
Hey, I told you guys I was going to work on it. And
the whole opening was updated.
Hey, you made a comment last week. I told you I'd fix it. I'm a man of my word.
I appreciate it.
Guys, man, we have a legend with us tonight. He is one half of the Extreme Horsemen, has what I believe, and I believe Shane believes it too, the sickest spine buster in the game. He puts the C-dub in EC-dub.
Ooh.
ECW legend, the Rottweiler, CW Anderson.
What's up, guys?
What's up, CW?
Hey, man, that's a hell of an introduction.
Oh, my God. That gave me chills.
Hey.
Forget it. Show's over.
Wasn't the drink.
No.
Hey, there we go.
I just got that started.
Oh man, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and spending it with us, man. We are super excited.
Me too, man. No worries.
Just sit
We're
down.
Looking forward to it.
Man, it's gonna be good. Man, before we dive deep into anything, there's a segment we like to do that Shane runs up. It's called the Shane event. He's gonna do some rapid fire with you. And Shane, man, you want to have at it?
What's up, Chris? You ready?
I'm ready.
So all this is, just to explain it to our listeners, it's 10 words, thoughts, terms, ideas, anything that comes to mind when I find out who we're interviewing. So nothing just off the cuff stuff. So these are definitely 10 terms that are synonymous with you. So whatever word it is, you just give your initial thought, phrase, paragraph, elaborate any way you feel fit.
10-4. Sounds good.
All right, perfect. So the number one word, obviously, ECW.
Yeah, something I miss every day.
What was that like, man?
I guess, it's hard to put into words to some extent. Family is a good word because nowhere have I ever been anywhere else I exchanged Christmas gifts like I did with these guys. Petrified is another good word. My first few months there when Bubba and Taz were running things, I was scared to death. I wouldn't even put my boots on until they told me to. Humbling, some of the respect I got, and when I started making a name for myself, because I literally walked in off the streets and got a job there just in a tryout match. That place always made you have your A game. We never, some of the other locker rooms I've been in, there's a lot of backstabbing, a lot of glass ceilings there, but not with ECW. because we would watch everybody's match every night. If you opened the show and had the best match of the night, or if you were mid-card or main event and had the best show, we were watching it and patting the guys on the back. We weren't out to stab you in the back like the other companies I've been in. So we were all 100% a big family. The worst day of my life, to an extent, is the day I saw Paul Heyman come up on commentary with Jim Ross, because I knew we were officially dead, knowing that my contract that Paul had promised me was not coming through, and I was getting a television belt at Living Dangerously after my quit match. So I knew that wasn't going to come through. I went through an 8-month depression spell, because I'd worked 6-7 years to get to a company, didn't know it was going to be ECW, and then have it all snatched away from me, and I was right back on the indies. So that was a hard thing to go through. And to say I miss it every day, I still talk to my ECW family here and there. But again, man, that place has never been replicated.
Wow. Thank you for elaborating on that.
Yep.
Number 2, Tommy Dreamer.
One of my closest friends, and the man, he made me. It was his decision to make me at ECW when Lance Storm was leaving. Tommy and I became very close because we traveled together. He and Francine drove in one car. I rode with Jack Victory, Louis Dangerously, or Sign Guy Dudley, and Steve Carino. So that was our traveling clique. So Tommy and I became very close. And I remember my very first pay-per-view, I did a dark match, me and Bill Wiles against Danny and Roadkill, and it's on YouTube, actually. Before I walked out, Tommy grabbed me by the arm, pulled me to the side, and he goes, "You're getting this match, not because you're one of my best friends and one of my closest friends." He said, "Because you effing deserve this." He said, "I want you to go out there, and even though it's a dark match, I want you to try to steal the show." He said, "Because I want you to take it and stick it up the ass of those ones at WCW that said you wasn't good enough to be there." So he was always a motivational factor behind me. And when we had the infamous I Quit match that notoriously happened on my 30th birthday, January 7th, 2001, he told me, "If we have a great match, I'm going to shake your hand." And that was my driving force, was to get that handshake after that match, because, we'll talk about that match a little bit later, but that was something I wanted to pull off with him. And again, it was his decision to make me, and he was always about getting the boys over and making new talent. And that's why I still love Tommy to today.
I was going to say,
because
he's
of what
still
he did
doing
to
it.
me.
Yeah. And I knew how close you two were. So it was fitting when we brought you into Palmetto up there in Rock Hill that one time. I believe it was against Owen Knight. There was only one person I was going to reach out to do a little promo video for you for that match. And it was Tommy. And he was like, "For C-Dub, anything." So,
yeah. And, I went through a hardship back in 2019, the summer, and he was one of the people that called me to check on me, because he knew what I was going through, because he had went through it. And we talked for a long time, and he was one of the few that reached out to me. And I'm sure during this we'll talk about it as well, because I have no secrets and want to fill in a lot of things, because you just never know whose life you're going to save with things that we go through as humans. So, we're just dealing with life. But Tommy, that really helped talking to him, and he and I have always remained close. And even stuff like that means even more to me.
Yes, sir. Number 3, the Spine Buster.
I always say Arn invented it, and I perfected it. People out there say they have the best spine buster, but you're shooting for long distance second place. The kid Hobbs from AEW, he commented one time about he had the best spine buster, and he's not even close. Nobody's even close to me.
I would agree.
It's fact.
I would always challenge that. That, my super kick, my left punch. I always say, you want to be on my level, you better start climbing. When it comes to that,
there's something about your spine buster. It's magical, man. Just watching it when you hit it, or where you can hit it. You can hit it from anywhere, for one, but
yeah.
I watched a couple clips today, as a matter of fact, and something that really stuck out to me was that little pop up you do at the end of it, the kind of pop and flip over.
That's what separates mine from everybody else, is the explosion I get afterwards.
Absolutely magical.
I don't know how it comes about. I don't know how it does it. Many have tried to emulate. One of my students, Victor Andrews, and he's got a pretty good pop off of it. Preston Quinn, my tag partner, he's got a pretty good one. But again, you want to say Arn has the best because he invented it. I have no qualms with that because it's Arn Anderson. But anybody else, you're not even close to mine. And I always say that until I'm done and I'm retired. And when I'm retired, it's still going to be that good to me.
So you raised up a good point too. That actually I was talking to Jonathan on the way here. Is I'm just spitballing here, but that left hand punch, that you're southpaw obviously, and that lariat, man, that lariat is very Stan Hansen like. Is there some influence there? Stan,
from watching him in Japan. Yeah, absolutely. Watching him just murk people with it.
Yeah.
I used my punch was, I used to punch like Bobby Eaton because you know me, and I'm still a mark for Bobby, God rest his soul. And then I started watching Scott Hall and the Rock punch one day, and somehow it just transformed into that, even though mine's still better because of what I do with it. And when I was at the Powerplant, Sarge used to watch my tapes from the indie matches I'd have. And he's like, CW, he said, you probably don't know this, but you have the best punch in wrestling, period. He said, and you're shooting yourself in the foot by punching people more than one time. He said, you need to punch one time and let that be it. Let him get the pop off of that and be a knockout. So that's what I started doing. I punched people. And then, once I got to ECW, I was telling people, please bump off of it. And then when I was working Kid Cash, Danny Doe, and those guys, they would always bump. And you go back and watch my videos, man, who gets a pop off their punch like that? One thing, I don't have to jump like other guys to get my punch over. But I'm one of the first that gets to pop like that. Well, I can say first because Bobby Eaton is the OG for that. But I've seen a lot of my videos from ECW where I pop it. When I hit somebody, you can see the people in the back just wince and come unglued because it catches them off guard.
It's got some ridiculous snap to it.
Yeah.
I was watching one of the videos. One of the people you hit with it was actually your highlight clip that you have on your page on YouTube. Was it Cedric?
Yes.
I thought it looked like Cedric, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that cell was Cedric. I was like, man, that's gold.
Yeah, he sold it like he was going to the electric chair. So, yeah. So I always loved working with Cedric. He always made my stuff look really good because of the way he sold. It was unique.
Yeah, it was definitely funny that you mentioned because those three moves, because that was me and Shane were talking on the way over here. Shane was like spine buster, punch, super kick. Those are the three you mentioned.
And then when I saw that lariat hits a guy from behind, I don't know who it was, but I was like, that's got Hansen written all over it. So it's definitely a thing of beauty.
Yeah, the Japanese interest, and then my super kick again. I'll rival that with anybody's.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to that.
Again, somewhere you can hit out of nowhere, standing still, moving, it doesn't matter. So definitely amazing.
Thank you.
Number 4 is definitely something that's probably one of the most synonymous terms with you. Rottweilers.
Yeah, those I had to lock my other one up because he is an attention whore. He's a big baby. He's always got his ball around me, and I've had Rottweilers forever. And I actually got the name, and it wasn't from wrestling. It was when I used to be a correction. Not a correction officer, but I worked with the detention office in the county I live in. And one of the inmates jumped on one of our elderly's officers, and I got him off of him. And it took 4 officers and a female sergeant to get me off of him. And the next day I came in, one of the inmates in there who knew me as CW Anderson, even though I didn't have a beard, I had to shave my beard. I looked more like Dr. Phil than I did CW Anderson. They said they knew me as, because they were wrestling fans. And they came in and they said, there's that damn Rottweiler Wright. Because, my last name's Wright. It was on your badge. So that's where he just kind of stuck being a Rottweiler, and plus me having Rottweilers. I went through a hard time last summer and last fall because I had 2, one that I raised from a baby and then one that I rescued, and I lost them both within 4 months to the same cancer, same leg, same spot. My big male was 185 pounds and he acted like he was 4 pounds.
That dog was beautiful,
and he was a big baby. And then the girl I rescued, Roxanne, she was given up, and we rescued her from a Rottweiler rescue here in North Carolina, and found out 6 days after I put my male down, Castor, that she had cancer. Same leg, same spot, and I lost her December 9th. And then I rescued one. His name was Roman, but I changed it to Saber because it was too close to Roxy, and he was an abused Rottweiler, put in a 10x10 kennel for the first year of his life, no human interaction. Then he got shipped down to New Orleans and he was collar abuse. Anytime you grabbed him around the collar or did something around his neck, he'd flip out and attack you. So when we rescued him, he didn't like males. He loved Brittany, but he wasn't too fond of males. And we've had him for a little over a year now. And again, he's part of the family, but that's kind of what been my thing is Rottweilers. I just love them because they're so loyal and they just get a bad name. I always say it's not the dog that's the bad thing. It's the person that raises them.
I had a couple of pits and a Rottweiler growing up, and our Rottweiler was Precious. That was her name. She died giving birth.
Oh, bless her heart.
Yeah. But she's about 9 years old. Good dog.
Don't you hurt my precious.
She was sweet.
Brittany and I, every time we say grace at our meals and stuff, and especially in the afternoon when we're sitting around, we always say hello to Roxy and Castor. And it's been over a year now with Castor. I lost him in last July, and I would cry almost every day. That's how much he meant to me. Yeah. And Roxanne the same way, because I'm just an animal person. I live on a 63-acre horse farm here. So I've animals my entire life: ducks, goats, chickens, horses, you name it. We've had it around here. So I've been an animal person my entire life. Most of the time I like animals and dogs more than I do people.
Facts.
They're more loyal.
100%.
And they won't stab you in the back. That's for sure.
Nope. Most of them won't stab you in the back, and most of the people your friends, they'll show the knife to you before they put it in your back.
Yep. And I challenge anybody that's not following or friends with Chris Wright on Facebook, you can see firsthand his love for animals.
Mm-hmm.
Number 6, AML Wrestling.
That company has given me a rebirth and loving this business again. You talking about a company that does it right? There's only a few. There's only a few in the Mid-Atlantic that do it right. Yours, AML's, but AML, they run WrestleCade. What else do you need to say about those guys? Nice. We just did a baseball stadium at a minor league park Saturday in Gastonia, and I don't know what the attendance was. It was over 600 people, I know, because the stands were filled up, and then the seats around were full as well. And then the week before, they put 1,000 in a gymnasium. Great. You got one show, you had FTR, and I tagged with Brock Anderson with Arn in our corner for the first time. This one had Matt Hardy. But that company, man, they do it right. They give you a little bit of everything, so every fan goes home happy.
And the thing with AML, there's such a fine-tuned, well-oiled machine where all those names that they do bring in, that's great. That's great. I actually respect the names and everybody they're bringing in, but it's not even necessary because they have the faces of their company, like you and some others. The Dawsons, George South is another one. That me as a fan, I would go to AML just for y'all, just for you, the Dawsons, George South, just to hear George South. Shut up! Yeah, that's all I got to hear.
Shut up!
Listen to him on the microphone. It's magic and
beautiful.
I like George South's work because I was an NWA fan growing up, but I never knew how good George was until he and I had that program a few years ago where we had the 4 matches that they actually have it on YouTube. It's called The Second Greatest Story Ever Told because it was during that traumatic period of my life where I brought my life into wrestling. So. And being in the ring with him, all 4 matches, we didn't do no move out of the 80s. Everything was called in the ring except the finish. And I just listened to him. And you just don't know how good somebody is, especially like George South. I can never say enough good things about George. Love him to death, respect him, and just how good of a wrestler George South is. But, you got the owners of AML, Tracy Myers and Brian Hawks, who are minds within themselves. They just started AML and WrestleCade as why don't we try this? And it's morphed into, WrestleCade weekend has over 10, 15,000 people that show up. Anybody that's ever been anybody in wrestling's there.
Yeah.
And then you got 4 and 5 great shows to fill your weekend. So it's basically for wrestlers, it's Christmas. So Tracy and Brian have, man, 2 other guys that I'm really close to that I think the world of, that I just love being a part of that locker room. And if it wasn't for them being around in AML, I don't know how much I would be wrestling because they make wrestling fun again.
And it's got to be extremely motivating because, I mean, you alluded to you're past 50 now, and
I'll be 52 in January.
You are in the absolute most impeccable shape of your career, and you have to be motivated for that reason.
I am. It's fun to see the weight loss, because I have people calling me Benjamin Button because I look younger now than what I did when I was at ECW, because hell, I'm 40 pounds lighter, 50 pounds in some instances. I'm 212 right now. That's the lightest I've been in a long time. And that, knowing I get to go there on the weekends and be at AML, and then the shape I'm in, and I'm still, because I've always said, if I couldn't wrestle at the level that I want to, the level I think I can, I'm going to step away, because I don't want to let the fans see me no less than what I've given them for 30 years. And if I keep it up like this, I'm going to be wrestling when George is still wrestling. So I'm okay with that.
Me too.
So I've only ever been able to make it to one AML show. That AML show we went to, George South. It's the first time I ever saw George South wrestle.
It was in y'all's training,
the training
facility, the old one.
Yeah.
And watching George South and just seeing him absolutely do nothing for 10 minutes. And
but he's doing nothing, but he's doing everything.
And captivating the entire audience the whole time with just yelling, talking. Oh, I was like, man, this guy, this is it.
You think he was a fantastic heel. Being on the microphone, in the ring, things like that. But he's even more over now as a babyface. It's like watching Hulk Hogan walk out when he walks through the curtain now.
Amazing.
One point I was one of the most, if not over, babyface now, but I got nothing on George. I mean, that pop he gets when he walks through, it's literally like watching Hogan walk to the ring.
It's pure respect.
It just gives you chills.
I probably watched him in the Acclaim video probably like 30 times.
So awesome.
So he had no idea what that was about.
That makes it even better. But you're talking about AML and Tracy and Brian. I challenge anybody in the wrestling business, whether you're a worker, whether you're a promoter, a wannabe promoter, if it's something you desire, if you're not following Brian Hawks and Tracy Myers, AML Wrestling, you're doing it wrong, because they have a recipe for success.
Yeah.
In totality.
It's worked.
Wow. Steve Carino.
I've known Steve since my first year in the business. He gave the nod at ECW because Paul asked about me, because I knew Steve. Steve gave the nod to get me into Japan. When they wanted to do, it was actually Masato Tanaka that said, bring me over, but it was Steve that actually made that, just, hey, why don't we bring CW over? If there's somebody that I've been there and done that with, it's Carino. All over the world, we have stories upon stories that we could sit and tell for days. And he's been my best friend for the longest time. And I was so happy, because he broke his neck years ago and he thought wrestling was over, and then he got his job with WWE at the Performance Center. I was so happy for him to get that job, because he's got a mind unlike no other when it comes to writing stories and knowing storylines of wrestling and, how to tell a story with wrestling. So when he got the job at WWE, it's just fitting for him, because that's where he belongs. So making the younger guys even smarter.
Speaking about Carino, so what was it like? A lot of people don't realize, but you were in a great story in AML, where AML was able to secure bringing back Steve Carino into the story, even after being an employee of WWE. What did that mean for you?
A lot, that, because he asked Triple H if he could come and do it. And Hunter knew how close Steve and I were, so he let him come do it. Steve didn't have to wrestle. He just had to come and be by my side. I was, at that point in my life, I was going through a bad split up with my wife and some other things that had been going on. So I was in a bad and dark spot. And then, having Steve in my corner for that match with George, because that was the part of my life that we brought into wrestling. And then Steve coming to do it and be in my corner working George. And, I broke my rib in that match. And Steve told me afterwards, it was like, he said he felt like a kid again watching me and George wrestle, because that's the story we were telling. but I hadn't seen him in, a couple of years because he's always been on the road with WWE. So having him come back and be in my corner, it was like old times again. And it seemed like I never got enough time with Steve. When he was gone, he was gone to WWE. And I just didn't realize how much I had missed him until he came back that day and did, the whole thing with the Golden Spike and the promos and all that leading up and the video package they played and him walking out and us doing the whole thing where he touched my shoulder and reuniting again. George said it was magic. It's lightning in a bottle. And having Steve in my corner is something that I've always, it's like having, Steve and I were closer than my brother and I are because Steve and I spent so much time together. So when he was gone, I didn't have that partner anymore to run to and have in my corner like I did with him because he knew, you talking about somebody that knows everything about me? Steve Carino knows everything about me. Some things I know he wish he knew, but he does. So, but yeah, that part of it is on that YouTube spot as well. The second greatest story ever told. It's a couple hours. It's got all our promos, all the matches, and especially that part right there, which I still watch a lot because it gives me chills when he puts his arm on my shoulder.
Being in the business as long as you've been, do you ever see like these father-son, Steve and Colby,
Brock and Arn,
Brian Pillman, rest his soul, and Brian Pillman Jr., do you ever see them and kind of have a flashback of, man, that is, do you ever feel like you're watching the dad in the ring when it's the son in the ring? Or?
Well, I've wrestled Colby several times. I've known Colby legitimately since the day he was born. Colby, was in our locker room while we were in Japan. I was I guess, still his uncle to some, that's what he used to call me. He always used to call me Uncle Big Head when he was little. So, he'd be in the locker room with us in Japan and he'd be in the locker room with us everywhere. So he was legitimately on the road with me and Steve a lot. So I've watched Colby grow up and I've watched Colby battle and fight his demons and get through those and turn into an amazing young man. Mm-hmm. And I've wrestled him a few times to the point where, Jesus Christ, it's like wrestling Steve. Mm. He's just more athletic than Steve is when it comes to some of the things he could do.
And there's certain points too when Colby makes a certain face, I
was like, Jesus Christ, it's like being in the ring with Steve. I've always told him this though. I said, Colby don't block my chops like Steve always did. So at least yes, Colby. It's like watching Steve all over again.
CW, we have 4 left in this opening segment. I'm speaking for these two. I just appreciate you elaborating so much on all these.
That's fine. If I'm talking too much, let me know because I've been known to do that.
No such thing.
No such thing as talking too much.
The Extreme Horseman.
That's an honor that I carry with me every day. That name, for people that don't know this story, it was formed with me, Steve Carino, and Barry Windham. We worked with Dusty Rhodes' promotion in TCW in early 2000s. And Dusty sat us down one day, me, Barry, and Steve. And he said, look, I'm thinking about making a group with you 3 guys. I'm going to call you the Extreme Horsemen because, Steve, you and CW came from the Extreme, and Barry, you were one of the 4 horsemen. And we were all about it. The first night we did it, Steve and I were working Dusty and Dustin, and we handcuffed Dustin to the ring. Now, we're in the southern part of Georgia, and we were beating up Dusty. Mm. Well, they send the young boys out first, and we beat them up, as planned. And all of a sudden, fans started hitting the ring. Like they were believing this shit. I remember kicking an older woman in the face to get her out of the ring. Not proud of it, but it is what it is. And all that.
Once you cross that barrier, brother.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, she probably has Wolverine on the back of her face because of that. But then Barry hits the ring and the place goes ballistic. Steve and I powder and Barry stand there and he helps Dusty up. And when Dusty turns, he cracks him with a chair. Oh. We jump back in and start beating him up, and we had to get a police escort back to the locker room.
Did Dusty bleed?
It was busted.
Like a stuck pig.
So did Dustin because Dustin was handcuffed to the turnbuckles. Dustin was bleeding too. And that was a magical night. And we started running with it. We did. Then we started with the MLW, and we always wanted Simon Diamond because me, Steve, and Simon were always close. So we brought Simon into it quickly. Especially when the MLW started running. And again, it was back to working Dusty and Terry Funk. And we did War Games with because they brought Dr. Death Steve Williams in, which I'll tell you a funny story about Dr. Death real quick, and ran with that for the longest time. We've had a couple other members, and then the past few years, we brought John Schuyler into it. Steve asked me what I thought about bringing Schuyler in as a member, and we did. And then it was my choice to bring Damian Wayne in and Preston Quinn. Preston Quinn was the last and probably the last member that we're going to make of the Extreme Horsemen. But we're in MLW. Dr. Death is a legend in Japan for his stiffness and, his backdrop driver and things like that. So Steve tells me and Simon, because we were going to work a program with Dr. Death, and Steve tells us and pulls us aside, said, look, Dr. Death is stiff when he works with you in CW. You know how it is in Japan, that if you don't give it back to them, they're just going to keep hitting you harder. So you got to lay it in on Dr. Death. You ain't got to tell me twice. So Simon and I go out there and beat the shit out of that man. We are clubbing him like a baby seal. And when he starts hitting us, it's like Boogie Woogie's touching you.
Oh,
like something ain't right. And we go in the afterwards, we go in the back, and Dr. Death has on. He goes, Steve, what the fuck is wrong with your boys? They beat the shit out of me. It was a rib. We beat Dr. Death for nothing.
Oh my gosh.
I felt like I was about that big.
Well, you must have earned his respect.
I don't think he wanted that respect. Oh my gosh. Simon and I apologized to him. I've never heard Steve laugh so much. It was such a rib.
I'm just picturing Dr. Death coming back in like pain, two black eyes.
We beat the brakes off of him in that match. We were just clubbing him. I thought we were, I'm earning his respect. This is Dr. Death Steve Williams. I seen him drop people on the head. Boom. Then he starts punching me. I'm like, wait a minute, something ain't right. He's barely touching me. Backdrop driver, laid me on my shoulders. Easy. Clothesline, easy. Damn it. We get to the back and he's talking about that. Like, shit. So, yeah, that was my little Dr. Death story. But then with the Extreme Horseman, that's something, man, I still carry today, because it was an honor getting that name from Dusty Rhodes and carrying it a part of from the Four Horsemen stuff. So I treasure being one of the original members and still being able to do that today.
Awesome. I'm just thinking about Dr. Death. What are you doing?
Yeah.
The Hammerstein Ballroom.
God, that place was magical, man. You got 3,000 people literally on top of you. It's like being at the ECW arena, but only bigger. The first times there, we did the tag tournament. First night, I just walked Simon and Swinger to the ring for a part of it. The next night, I get to work Jerry Lynn, and Jerry Lynn puts me over that night in front of, 2,000-3,000 people, however many was there. And then the third time we were there was my I Quit match. My Massacre on 34th Street match, where I pinned Tommy when I spine busted him through the table backwards. And then we did the I Quit match there. And the one thing I remember about that place was, after Tommy shook my hand in the I Quit match, the replay from the old video, it goes off and they show the replay of our match, but I'm standing in the middle of the ring and all of those fans get up on their feet and they start chanting, "See fucking dub, see fucking dub." I'm walking back, man. I'm trying not to get emotional because I got 3,000 people chanting my name. That was what they were starting to do. They did it at the arena against me when I worked with Super Crazy. They were starting to chant my name. And, I had my own little fan section with the pizza boxes with CW, and it was starting to get over. And it was actually a point where Tommy was going to turn me babyface because I was getting over so much, But walking back through the curtain, Balls Mahoney was the first person to greet me, and he's standing there in classic Balls, and he's clapping like this, and he goes, and I can still see him doing it right now. That was one of the best effing matches I've ever seen. He hugs me and kisses me on the cheek, and as I'm walking through, everybody's high-fiving me because people were telling me that was going to be a hard match to pull off. ECW I Quit match, so again, it was my mission to pull off a good one. Paul congratulated me, and everybody said that was the match of the night. And again, it was January 7th, 2001, my 30th birthday. So what better way to have your 30th birthday than in a match that 20-something years later is still being talked about?
Wow. Two more. This one, just because you were there. I mean, I was a fan. I was 15 years old. I remember watching it and seeing you in the crowd. It'd be ECW One Night Stand 2005, the first one.
Yep. I was supposed to wrestle that night. Swinger and I were going to work Danny and Roadkill either first match or dark. Then it got switched to I was going to do a dark match by myself. Then it got switched to Vince didn't want any bumping before the show started because he didn't want the crowd heat and pop to be tainted by a match, which is just idiotic because he didn't know anything about the ECW product, because it didn't matter how many matches you had beforehand. When it went live and those lights hit and you went live on pay-per-view, that crowd was going to be ballistic. So Tommy tells me, we got the whole thing at the end with the big schmoz, and he goes, you can sit back here and wait for that, or you can sit out in the crowd with Elektra. I think Chetty was with us well, and just, enjoy the show. So that's what I did. I sat out there, enjoyed the show, and got one of those $400 chairs I ended up selling on eBay later for nothing. So there you go. Screw you for making me sit out there in the crowd. But yeah, it went from me having a match on the pay-per-view to sitting out there in the crowd and watching that stuff. And I remember after Eddie and Chris's match, I'm sure they went dark, getting ready for the next match, but it wasn't one of their better matches. And I remember Chris screaming at Eddie in the ring before they got out of the ring. I don't know, never know what transpired in the back, but that was one of the things I remember from that. And also the big schmoz. I remember JBL and Meanie hit me with so much force during that fight because I didn't know what was going on. I just remember them crashing into me, and then later find out they were actually fighting.
Yeah, Meanie's face that was brutal, man. I remember seeing that.
That was, looking back on it, at the time it was such a letdown because I heard from another one of my friends there that was one of the champions that he and I were close. He's like, I hope Vince is not bringing ECW back to bury it just because of the pop we were getting in the resurgence. And that's exactly what he did. He brought it back, put his own guys in there that weren't ECW originals. They hired 11 or 12 of us, me and the other ones at base pay. I was like losing money being there. We hated being there. Francine and I, every time we found out that we weren't on the show when we had to go to house shows, would sneak out and go to the next town. It was a miserable experience because you brought ECW back and basically Disneyfied it. Because the only reason I signed was Tommy told me it was going to be like the old ECW. Him and Paul were in complete control. It was going to be like it used to be. We're going to pick back up on our feud. I said, so I ain't got to go to Ohio Valley. He goes, nope. I said, and Vince has no say about this. He goes, nope, this is mine and Paul's. And then after our first show there at the ECW Arena, the night I worked Sabu, I heard Vince didn't like the lighting, and then he took over. And one of the other things, and we'll move on, was they always give agent reports. And Tommy told me this one night because this came straight from Dean Malenko. Every night they give agent reports, and Vince calls Dean one day and says, I'm reading all your agent reports. He said, but you never have anything to critique about CW Anderson. Dean says, because there's nothing to critique about him. Vince says, what do you mean? He said, nobody's that perfect in the ring. Dean says, he's as close as they come. And says, bullshit. Find something wrong with him. He goes, Vince, if I had to say, he maybe could be a tad more aggressive, but that's it. One of the next shows, I worked Shannon Moore in Texas, and I see Ted DiBiase walking towards me, and I stand up to introduce myself, and he goes, I know exactly who you are, CW. He said, Vince sent me down here to see if the hype about you was true. He said, I can tell you him 100%. You're as good as Dean says you are.
Wow.
Then we do the Hammerstein Ballroom, and Vince gets on the headset. I'm working with Shannon Moore, and he switches me and Shannon Moore from heel to babyface the entire match. I put Shannon over as a face. All of a sudden, Shannon's turned heel. All of a sudden, Shannon's turned back babyface. Shannon goes back heel. Finish. Shannon, you're not up anymore. CW's up. This is coming from the ref from Vince. As Shannon comes off for a crossbody, and I catch him midair and spine buster him for the finish. 1, 2, Shannon kicks out, and the ref counts 3 because they're just fucking with me.
So
that's my Vince story, the whole ECW thing.
So, somebody like, we don't even have to use names, but somebody like that, what is the reasoning? They saw what ECW was.
I wasn't a product of Vince.
They saw what ECW was at One Night Stand, what they still had, obviously, that hardcore driven fan base that was never going to deviate from you. And they saw after a period of time being gone at this point, 4 years, right? 4 or 5 years, close to 5 years.
Yeah.
Coming back one night only. And it was phenomenal. It was magical. I own that DVD. I've seen it a million times. That was the ECW faithful in that crowd. And was it just like a threat? Like, oh my God, I gotta kill this thing before. I mean,
100%. If Vince doesn't create it, he wants to destroy it.
Yeah.
He told Rob Van Dam one day it was his idea and his thing that came up with the ECW chant, the ECW, all that stuff. Vince thinks he came up with it. He told Paul he wanted to change my name because remember I got called Christopher W. Anderson for a little bit.
Yep.
A stupid ass name. Because Paul says Vince wants to change your name. I said, why? He said, well, you got CM Punk and then you got CW Anderson, the initials, people might get y'all confused. Well, yeah, I can see that, Paul, because Punk has got hair and he's slim and wears trunks. I'm a little heavy set and I wear, a singlet and I got CW on my hands and I'm bald. Yeah, I can see exactly why Vince and the people would think that, they get us confused for one another. Well, it's not so much that, it's that, your name's CW and they got the CW network and people may think you work for the CW network. I said, Paul, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I said, I know somebody from the TV Guide that called me and said one of the first production pictures they did with the CW network, they had one A-list actor doing this. They had another one doing that. Who the hell do you think come up with that? Me. I've been CW Anderson since 1993. That's just the dumbest shit I've ever heard. He said, well, he just wants to change your name. I said, tell you what, I don't give a shit. I don't want to be here anymore. Change it to whatever you want, just as long as I can keep this. Because after this, it's all downhill. So that's why they changed it to Christopher W.
Last one. We were talking about a couple times. Paul Heyman.
As bad of a boss as he was in the end, leaving us high and dry, I give that man so much credit because he made me. He saw something in me. He saw something in a lot of us. Roadkill, Danny Dorn, Chris Chetty, Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, guys that did not have a look. Chetty and Dorn had a look, but you look at Roadkill, Balls, Axel, me at the time, we didn't have a look. WCW told me I didn't have what it took to make it in professional wrestling. Paul saw talent. This guy we'd stay all night, literally all night, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning doing promos, and he'd come up with them off the top of his head. He gave me the job. He saw something in me. He would tell me something and have me go do it because he knew he had the faith that I would pull it off. He asked me at Massacre on 34th Street. He got down on his knees in front of me as I was getting ready to change, and he said, "You're not leaving me, are you?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "I've heard there's rumors of you going to WCW." I said, "Paul, I would never leave you. You and Tommy give me my job. You believed in me. I would never leave you." And it ended up screwing me in the end. But he gave me a job. He pushed me. I am grateful for that because if it wasn't for Paul Heyman, there would be no CW Anderson to the extent of what it is today. So he was a bad businessman and didn't tell us we were all out of a job. Just closed the doors and didn't say a word. Didn't say thank you, kiss my ass or nothing. That part of it, I'm a little bitter over. We'll always have that. But the rest of it, man, I can't thank Paul enough for what he did for me.
So what's your best Paul Heyman story? Because it's on our minds now. There's got to be a good story yet.
Oh, there was a spot. He was going to make me gay.
What?
We were doing promos. Yeah, there was, and there's a promo out there. It's me and Simon and Swinger cutting the promo. And I was talking about how I've been doing more with my hand and knocking people out. And I looked at Swinger and I said, your lips, or I said, where I'm from, your lips are considered a delicacy. He made me say that in a promo. And then one time he got me to say, or was going to get me to say, there's nothing better than wrestling a guy or being on top with a girl and turning it over and it's a young boy's ass or something along those lines. And I said, Paul, you're not trying to make me gay, are you? He's like, no. I said, Paul, I can't say that. That doesn't sound right coming from me.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah. So
He's like, yeah, Chris, like, yeah, well.
I'm thinking that doesn't sound right coming from anybody.
No. So I wouldn't say it, but that was one of the ones that he had me do it. I was like, I just can't do.
So do you see like, talking about ECW and stuff, do you see any like similarities with how ECW is? And I'm going to guess say based on the following, ECW had a cult-like following, right? Do you kind of draw the same similarities when seeing AEW, and everything? A lot of us have talked through conversation. We all feel like there's that similarity. You had that niche crowd like ECW used to have. You see that?
You got a niche crowd with them, yeah, you do, but I don't know if it's a good thing. That style of wrestling, that niche crowd likes the crazy, over the top stuff with no selling, no emotion. It's a spot fest. And that's not a good thing because that's not professional wrestling. Professional wrestling has always been emotion over motion. Why do you think FTR is the best tag team in the world and got over when the Young Bucks tried to do everything they could to not get them over?
Yeah.
Because FTR can work their ass off and they bring emotion into it. When people started seeing through the Young Bucks and that whole clique with all that stuff and seeing wrestling, Jay Lethal, FTR, CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, those are your most over guys. They don't do that shit because they put emotion over motion.
You can even throw Moxley in there now.
Moxley's getting there. I mean, Moxley's always been labeled as a the death guy, the death.
Death match.
I've heard because Cornette shits on him all the time.
Yeah.
With that, everybody's got their own opinion. But when Moxley wants to work like that, Moxley can work. He's proven that. But you got again the similarity of having a niche, yes. But us at ECW, we could work our ass off and we could tell a story. The blood and guts wasn't about the violence; it was about the heart and soul and us working. How many times the guys from AEW ever go without getting paid? They work one day a week.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking them, not 100 bit. A lot of those guys got talent that I have no clue. I've never had athletic ability, but they work one day a week, and I'm pretty sure their checks clear. We were working 4 days a week when I got there. Checks weren't clearing. Still working, still going out there and busting our ass, still going out there and giving our heart and soul and our bodies for that company, taking chair shots to the head without blocking it. Part of the reason I got 23 concussions. And you might hear me stutter or flinch or something because I have a tick because of it. Why? Because I give my heart and soul to this business and to ECW because I believed in it.
Do you think the possibility of the Young Bucks and that clique possibly no longer being with the company could lead them into a better direction?
Please happen.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I hope to God it happens.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, you can't make EVPs that's really not done much in this business.
I agree.
I agree.
I've done a lot in Japan. I got trained.
Yeah.
Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker was my trainer. Yes, I went 6 years without getting trained, but Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker was my trainer. Got to train Goldberg, Big Show.
That's kind of what I wanted to touch on
Yeah.
before ECW. We've all kind of heard stories of the power plant, but just elaborating on what
you
that
want to talk about that 3
like.
days of hell.
Oh, I want to hear all about it.
I'll finish up. It would be good if Tony Khan, and again, these are things I hear by reading, seeing the podcast, seeing the post. I don't know him personally. I spoke to people there that work for him and say he's an amazing guy. He's a great boss. But brother, you need some help. You need somebody that's going to put that foot down and say, fuck you. We're not doing it like this. We're going to do it like this. You need some help. And it doesn't matter who it is. I don't give a damn how long you've been in this business. If you work for somebody, you're their employee. You do what they say.
I think bringing William Regal in was a genius move.
100%. But I do know a lot of those guys. There's a bunch of them that don't ask the advice of William Regal and Arn Anderson to watch their matches. Guys like that, they don't ask them because if I'm not mistaken, one of them said he didn't think he needed to take any advice.
Oh, you're talking about Hangman.
Yeah. Well,
Get
there
the
you go.
fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, he's talking about Hangman. Well,
no,
Yeah, you need to take advice.
Yeah.
100%.
no matter how good.
I've been doing this in 29, 30 years. Let me tell you this. I worked with Arn Anderson a month ago. I asked his advice. I asked George South's advice every time I wrestle him. You know why? Because I'm never too good enough to ask for advice in this business. And when you think you know everything, And this is for the ones that don't think they need advice. If you don't think you need advice, you need to get the hell out of this business.
Bomb drop by
100%.
C-Dub. What you got?
So, what were we talking about?
Power plant.
What was oh geez, yeah. So the 3 days of hell. Lodi and Lodi was one of my students, and we had another guy called Toad that was his tag team partner, Curtis White. He was another one of my students. They went down there and made it to the power plant. They called me and said, "Hey, come down here. You're just spinning the wheels in North Carolina. You've done everything you can. This is what's going to happen. You're going to do X amount of squats. You're going to do this, this, and this. You got to get your endurance built up." So for 3 months, I trained myself doing squats, things like that. He forgot to mention the 600 push-ups we had to do a day. Oh. So you get in there and there's 30, 35 guys. Sarge comes in 9 o'clock in the morning, throws his bag, starts cussing at everybody. And Sarge, he's a little fire plug, man. He was built like a damn brick shit house. He scared everybody. So he would tell you to get a bucket. The guys that were students that made it through there were there training with you, and they were standing behind you. You get a 5-gallon bucket, you turn it over. You're starting to do squats. He starts counting. You squat, you're down. Everybody counts. If one person don't count, you start over. You're doing sets of 50, 75, 100. Then he tells you to drop down. You get up, you do push-ups. I forgot, it was like 20, 25 push-ups. Then you get on your neck and do neck bridges, and you turn over on your back. You don't roll, you pop. You do neck bridges that way. You get back up. You do squats again, and it's a repetitive process. You get one break, a 30-minute lunch break, and it's like that until 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You go outside and you run for an hour. Like one day, the first day I was there, they brought Goldberg in. Sarge was going to train with him, so they took us outside, Pez Watley, Mike Winter, some of the other students, and they ran you for 45 minutes. You got in groups of 5 and you sprinted. You either sprinted forward, backwards, karaoke style, the crisscross. And if you were the last person in that group, you had to knock out 50 squats and be ready by the time it was over with. By the end of the day, you had done 2,000 squats. You had done 500, 600 push-ups. And you also get in the ring and run the ropes. They don't teach you how to run the ropes. They don't teach you how to bump. He says, bump, hit the mat. And I was the only one there that had been wrestling. So them guys hitting them ropes was some funny shit because that cable was slinging them all over. And you had to do it in 3 separate rings. You had to run from ring to ring and do it and then do a flip and get out. By the end of the day, there was 6 people the first day. The second day, 2 people quit. And on that Friday, all 4 of us made it through. First day I was going to quit, but my buddy Toe was there working out with us, and he kept me in because there was a couple of times I said, screw this, I'm done. And he would grab me and throw me back in. Well, when Sarge felt like you were going to quit, he would get you in the middle of everybody, get you on your back, have you kick your arms and legs and make you say, he said, say I'm a dying cockroach, sir. Well, that Toad and Lodi had smarted me up that. And they said, whatever he does, if he does that to you, don't you say it. And sure, he thought I was breaking. So he got me in the middle. He got in my face, say I'm a dying cockroach. I said, I'm not saying it, Sarge, because I was screaming it back at him. He's like, say it. I'm like, fuck you, kiss my ass. I'm not saying it. So he jerked me up and pushed me back. And Toad said he looked at me like he gave me that like a nod, like, okay, this kid's going to make it. And when he looked at Toad, Toad was smirking. And he was like, you motherfucker, because he had smarted me up to it. So that he put us through more squats and push-ups because Toad had smarted me up to that. At the end of the tryout, you were told you're welcome to come back. It was like a $3,000 you had to pay to walk in the door, and then they paid to train you. I remember driving home. Well, Lodi drove me home that day from Atlanta, and I was having flashbacks of Sarge screaming at my face. I would pass out and I'd scream, waking up because I had flashbacks of Sarge screaming in my face for 3 days. I had to throw up because I was so sick. So Lodi pulled over the side of the road. I got out, and Lodi says, I was looking at the window. He said, and I looked back and I looked again. He said, you were gone, because I had passed out and rolled down the hill in the ditch from being so exhausted. But after I got through that tryout and walked back in, Sarge was the first one to greet me. Wow. And hug me.
He wanted you to make it. He wanted you to make it.
He was the coolest person after that. You know, I saw him at the gathering not too long. That's the first time I've seen Sarge in like 15 years.
Flashback.
the flashback, I still respect that man. And I say he's the man that took everything that I had learned and fine tuned it into the guy that got the job at ECW. That was the people, what they saw. Yeah. He actually had me after about 6 months in the ring training people. I was training the Natural Born Thrillers, Lash LaRue, Elix Skipper, showing them things, while Sarge was in the other ring training other guys, because there was only 3 rings in there, and they were painting the Monday Nitro and Thunder canvases on Mondays in one ring, so we only really had one ring to train in.
Wow.
But Pez Watley, Mike Winter, and Sarge, I owe those guys my life because they took and fine-tuned it. It was hell for 3 days. If so, you told me, hey, I'll pay you a few $1 million to go back through that trial again, that's all right. I'll flip burgers at McDonald's. I'm good.
So you're talking about Brad Kane, Lodi. An amazing human being. He's worked at Palmetto a couple times. I've seen him several other places. So you trained him.
Yes.
So what is it like still being in the business, but still seeing Brad or Lodi in the business, doing what he's doing, man, after all, like he's had numerous injuries and surgeries throughout his career, and he just keeps coming back, man. And he's talk about somebody who's in phenomenal shape still.
He makes me sick. He's in such good shape. He's 6 months older than me, 4 months older than me. He just turned 52. Yeah, just turned 52. So he's in amazing shape. He's always been in great shape. I've literally known Lodi since 94, 95.
Wow.
And, his run at WCW, he was haunted by a lot of demons. He had a lot of some drug issues, and he's not shy about saying that. And it's
part of his testimony.
Almost killed him, turned his life around. He's broke his neck 3 times, I think. But, he found God. He is an amazing, he doesn't cuss. He doesn't do any of that stuff now. He's an amazing person. He's always been amazing. But even when he was on that part of his life, he was a difficult person to be around, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. But the guy now will give you the shirt off his back, helps anybody. He has the training schools down there in Matthews, right beside Charlotte.
Yep.
So he is hey buddy, sorry, my raw come tell me, hey, he's one of my closest friends and somebody I've always been able to reach out to. And again, when my demons caught up with me in 2019, one of the other people that called me stayed in touch with me, and he and I talk on a regular basis. If you're around, Concord, Charlotte, Matthews, anywhere in there, Lodi and George South, that's the people you want training you down there.
Yeah, I can't tell you how ecstatic it was when I saw him tagging with Lenny Lane again.
Oh my God, it was so good. It was like old times again.
I was like, oh my word, man. So just a little bit more, and we'll let you go because we know you and Brittany hit the bed pretty early, but
yeah, she gets up early, man. I don't know how she does it.
You're talking about what you went through in 2019. Elaborate on that, and then how you got through it. Because for a lot of people that don't know, that during that dark time, you actually retired. You actually said you were done with pro wrestling.
Yeah.
So kind of walk us through that mindset, that process, and where Brittany played a part in it.
There was no secret that Brittany and I were together. At that time, we were both wrong because I was married. And when it all came out, Brittany went her separate way to be away from me. I went mine. I was trying to work things out to an extent, at least what I thought I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted. I just kind of want your cake and eating it too, having it, your cake and eating it too. And my wife was done with me, kicked me out, trying to learn my life again. I went to therapy. I had to start to go to therapy to learn that, because I know I'm a certified sex addict, so that was part of the addiction process that I had to get through. I'm a narcissist, gaslighter, all these things I had to learn about myself for 2 years of therapy. And one of the reasons I retired, because at the time I thought I wanted to be back with my wife, and she's like, I had to give up wrestling. So when I gave up wrestling that night, I had found out she was already with somebody else. And Brittany was here for emotional support and trying to work things out as well. She was trying to make it work, and it was in a bad place. Not saying what I did was right, 100% was in the wrong for all these things. And that night I was in such a bad spot. I was never really a drinker, but drank a thing of Fireball that night and put a 9mm to my head because I wanted my life over with. if it wasn't for Brittany, I'd have been gone because she was here to keep me from pulling the trigger. And you know, if people that have had hangovers when you vomit, you know what normally the color was, but that night when I vomited, to get rid of everything, it was all black. It was like a demon was inside of me. Never seen anything like that before in my life. My parents had came up and took all the guns out of my house. I had to step away from wrestling. My ex-wife made me hate wrestling because she didn't like it. And I had to step away because at the time I had become CW Anderson. I had lost who Chris Wright was 100%. I was an asshole every day. My family didn't want anything to do with me. My brother wouldn't let me around his kids. I was 100% the asshole ECW Anderson that you saw on TV. I had become that person. And getting away from wrestling, which was during the pandemic, finding out who I was and seeing the forest for the trees, so to speak, and going through therapy and learning me and learning that, you know, wrestling was a part of me and realizing that I needed Brittany in my life and made a lot of changes, found God. And she and I started going to church. And, you know, I will say this, the night I retired and the next day when I woke up, I had 20-some thousand messages from fans all over the world thanking me for my career, posting it on social media, everything.
Wow.
I had one person says, "Hey, you look like you need to talk. Why don't you call me?" And it was a pastor from a church down the road. His name's Matt Fry. He runs a church called C3 over in Cleveland. It's on the eastern side of Raleigh. He and I talked. He invited me to his men's group. The men there knew who I was, but treated me as Chris Wright, which was an eye-opening experience. Then going to that church and learning a bunch of things, giving my testimony, another eye-opening experience at 50 years old, having to learn myself again and learning that I could have a life outside of wrestling, that I could love Chris Wright and learn to be CW Anderson and learn when to turn those off. And I know, you know, Shane, you know Brittany, and she's an amazing woman for sticking by me for the shit I put her through for those years. And calling me on my stuff when she sees the narcissist in me kick in. Because as men, we're all a narcissist to an extent, but sometimes I take it to a whole nother level. And it's a flaw in me that she's able to correct and I'm able to correct now. And I've never thanked her enough for sticking by my side. And, you know, she's by my side at every wrestling event. She's my valet. She's the love of my life. She's the love for my life. The love for your life is the person that you have everything in common with and want to do everything by your side. The love of your life is a person that you love for eternity, but you're just in two different genres. You want two different things. So there's a big difference. And Brittany is definitely the love for my life because she's by my side every step of the way. And can tell you that if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here now. But my testimony, my story, you can amount the number of wrestlers that have messaged me and come up to me at shows, even fans, "Hey, dude, I listened to your testimony and I was going through X and it got me through my day." So every day I wake up on the right side of the dirt and able to help anybody is a good day for me. So going through all that made me fall in love with professional wrestling again, being at the AML every month, seeing those people. You know, Brian Hawks was another one that was by my side, and the reason my phone's be moving is because of my Rottweiler. Brian Hawks, another person I talk to every day with all these problems. Preston Quinn, my tag partner, called me every day. Lodi, the same way. You have to do life with other men to an extent because you just can't do it by yourself. And the older people get, the more you'll realize that you need people in your life that are in your boat rowing it, not actually drilling a hole in it.
Iron sharpens iron.
I thank God every day for grace, mercy, forgiveness, second chances, because that's what CW Anderson's got.
I definitely have a huge second chance. And look, you don't have to believe in God. It's whatever gets you through the day. If it's a universe, whatever gets you through the day, whatever you believe in. But you can't do it by yourself. I don't give a damn who you are, because if you do, you're a lonely person.
Well, I'm absolutely grateful that you're still here. I'm grateful that you're still a part of professional wrestling. I believe you're a viable, very important part of it. I love everything you're doing in the ring, out of the ring. Thank you so much just for being Chris Wright. and
Yeah.
and your impeccable career, man. What you continue to do at this stage of your career is undeniable. It's unbelievable, and it's an honor just to be able to watch you still do what you do.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I just know it hurts a lot more now than what it used to.
Wow. You got to build that tolerance back. You was at the game.
I try, man, because she and I we work out every day. We're really big into kettlebells and stuff. That's what's been a huge impact on us with working out. But I'm telling you, dude, after wrestling some matches, I'm like, how did I do this 4 nights a week when I was at ECW? How did I do this in Japan traveling? Because it just hurts more now. But they say it hurts more, but it just takes a longer time to recover than what it used to.
It hurts so good.
And that's why I stick to ring announcing, my friend.
You got to know your place. We got to know our places.
Yeah. Stay in your lane, right?
That's right. Guys, share anything?
Well, I had another question, but it doesn't feel right. I mean, that feels like such a powerful note to end it on. I don't know.
Ask it, man. Yeah, you never know what can come out of it.
Just looking at some stuff. So, what was it like wrestling the Prototype before he became before he was even John Cena or in WWE? I saw that and I was like, oh man, that's going way back.
Yeah, you never knew John was going to be the person that he is now. But I knew he had just signed. He had a fantastic look, and I just know when I got to California, one of my buddies had picked me up, and we rode to a gas station. He had to get gas, so we pulled up at a gas station. I'm getting out, and all of a sudden, John's getting in his Jeep. He sees the guy. He knew the guy that was driving me, but he sees me. Literally runs up to me and shakes my hand, introduces himself, and he's like, I am such a huge fan of yours. He said, I am so looking forward to tonight and working with you. And
wow.
He's always been the coolest person, one of the coolest people. And even once he became that John Cena on TV and stuff, when I was doing my little dark matches at WWE and then the stuff at ECW, when I would see him, he always took time and spoke to me. And, John's never big leagued me. He's never been that person towards me. He's always took time to speak to me and stuff like that. So I have nothing but utmost respect for John. But I did have a great match with him, I thought, and it was a lot of fun to work with him.
I'm just surprised you could see him. Oh.
Yeah, that's before the camo came in, right?
Wow. Well, man, thank you. Thank you for everything you've shared with us. Thank you for sharing your struggles. It gives, I know, hearing people who go through the same stuff that you've gone through in life just helps the battle. So thank you for sharing all that.
You're welcome. I told you, man, no secrets. Everything's is not off the table. So it may help one person, you just never know. And I've always been the guy that's always been open and honest, because I never wanted to BS anybody, because I've been BS for a lot. And I tried to be, just give everybody the truth of what happened to me to that extent, because you never know who it's going to help.
Yeah. Shane, you got anything else, man?
No, make sure you thank Brittany for us for allowing you to take an hour.
Brittany, Shane, the guy said thank you. She's sitting off camera right here.
Thank you, Brittany, so much for allowing.
She's tapping her watch.
No, she's got a Rottweiler in a headlock like this because he wants to come over here. But yeah, when I told her, Shane, I was doing the podcast with you, she was excited. So she says you're welcome in her Brittany voice.
I can hear it. So perfect. Well, we thank you both so much for taking time out.
I'll extend an open invitation anytime you want to come on and talk. Man, have at it.
That's right. Yeah, you ever guys want me in? You want me again? Let me know. Heck, I got to tell you this. You might not know this, but Brittany's been in the business almost as long as I have. She's 27 years old, and her dad was a wrestler and used to run shows and stuff. So she knows a lot about the business as well. So, if we could ever come on here together, because I actually go to her a lot. She's very smart for this business, because she knows BS when she sees it.
Hey, I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
When's our next available date?
Yeah.
We'll converse you when our open availability is, and we'll get you both on here, Chris. Because
that works for us, man.
I think this is going to impact a lot more people than just anybody as a wrestling fan.
Absolutely.
So, and that's the importance of it. And we're grateful for you and Brittany and for what you do and what you continue to do. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, man. It was actually a lot of fun. I appreciate you allowing me to share my story and my time to speak.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up for one half of the Extreme Horseman, sickest spine buster in the game. He puts the C-Dub and ECW Legend, the Rottweiler, CW Anderson. Man, we appreciate you, man.
Thanks, guys, man. I had fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. Talk to you soon.
You too,
All
man.
right, brother.
Later.
Man, what a good interview. He, CW was, man, we talked about this just a minute ago. I feel like everything just keeps going up and getting better. So I don't know how we top that. That's going to be hard to do.
I don't know if you can, because anybody that makes himself so vulnerable.
I'm not laughing at what you said. It's just
Are you
as
laughing
soon
at the
as you said it,
microphone?
it was just
You're drinking.
big old drip from your beard.
No, I agree. Anyone who makes himself vulnerable and so
I hate
transparent.
both of you. So as I was saying, anybody that opens himself up and makes himself so vulnerable to share their story, no matter how bad of experiences they are, to be able to share their story in order to help somebody, I think speaks volumes about their character.
No, I agree. I
For
agree.
sure.
I agree. But before we continue, we just like to take this moment and thank our sponsors. We'd like to thank Revolution Nutrition out of Camden, South Carolina. Jonathan's over there drinking one of their loaded teas. Jonathan, which one did you get?
Yeah, Victor, he's on his second one of the day.
Running wild.
Running Wild. Oh yeah, that was a PCW callback.
Oh yeah,
PCW Clash in Camden that we had a couple months back.
I had one today.
Which one?
The Daphne from Scooby Doo.
Okay,
It was you like grape. You like grape.
I do like grape.
They were talking all about your fetish with grapes. So
Oh no, hold on. It is not a fetish by any means.
well, I mean,
I like grape flavor.
well, you would love the Daphne because it's pure bliss. It's definitely a grape lover's drink. But anyhow,
Well, yeah. We've been talking a lot about Randy Hogan lately, so I thought I had to get Running Wild.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Randy Hogan.
Yeah, he'll be on here soon, guys. Stay tuned for that one. That'll be a good one. But yeah, so if you're in the Camden, Lugoff, Elgin, Columbia area, or guys, if you just want to make a drive down from wherever you are, swing on by Revolution Nutrition in Camden, South Carolina. Use promo code LOWDOWN and get 10% off of your order. And we'd also like to thank our sponsor, Day Soul Coffee Lab out of Birmingham in Alabama. Guys, I consider myself a coffee connoisseur. Y'all know this. I just ordered like 5 bags of coffee from them. They have a special roast right now called Bourbon Barrel Reserve. It's seasonal. It's delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Aged in bourbon barrels.
Man, it's so good. And
You can't go wrong.
they also got a new Kenyan roast. I'm excited to try it too. But swing on over to their website, daysoulcoffeelab.co. If you want to subscribe to their monthly subscription, they'll deliver coffee right to your door. And just use promo code LOWDOWN, and it's actually 20% off again. That's insane. So 20% off your order, guys. Head on over, daysoulcoffeelab.co. I'm still waiting for them to ship the Nitro Cold Brew.
So you got 5 bags for the cost of 4.
Yeah.
Well, that's some Steiner math there, brother.
Yeah, 33% of the time you got 2/3% chance.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so man. Oh, there he is. So guys, we're doing something a little bit different that we normally don't do.
Never. No, we never do.
Yeah, we never do this.
Never done
We're
it.
able to do a
Like a simulcast.
simulcast, so to speak. Guys, you'll be hearing this on Wednesday. But right now we're watching Monday Night Raw together.
Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely weird.
CW's schedule needed him to interview tonight on Monday night, so we decided, hey, why not we take a look at Raw while we were doing this thing. And
It's been 5 minutes. I'm not ready to turn it off yet, so they're doing something right.
Progress, right?
We're sitting here and they got the honorary Oos, Sami Zayn on there.
Dude,
and then, It's such a good storyline, but
really-
I can relate because I feel like
Look,
like,
he's leading the way. This is like storytelling here.
it was only a few weeks ago. I was just an honorary member of the Lowdown Podcast. So
Well,
I don't plan on kicking you out of the Lowdown Podcast like they'll probably end up doing to Sammy.
oh, I can't wait to that day.
But
Sammy's got something special going on, man. This is completely reinvented himself, made himself relevant again, which I think is extremely important because he's super talented.
but what if it's the other way around and Sammy kicks out Jay?
bro,
I can kick Shane off.
So I saw something today.
What's this got to do with me?
He's so stupid. It's the Lowdown with Jonathan. I saw something today that, I looked back and I was like, hey, you know what? I've never kind of drawn that comparison, but people are drawing Sammy with the bloodline like to the same comparison as Owen with Nation of Domination.
That's pretty good, actually. That's exactly what this is if you think about it. Because Owen was enough is enough.
Yep.
It's, time for a change. That whole gimmick, and he was definitely the oddball out. But seeing Sammy with the Usos is definitely he's the oddball out. But keeping his comedy side, which is funny, and it's like he's funny, but he doesn't really know he's funny, because he's trying to be serious. But I think it's awesome. I'm excited to see what they do. I hope they don't blow it off too early. I definitely think it's got to be a long, slow
burn.
Yep, exactly.
I'm thinking what happens. I'm thinking he and Kevin Owens end up knocking the Usos down off the totem pole when it comes to being tag champs. At least I feel like that's what a lot of people want to see. Him and Kevin Owens they're so golden together.
Yeah, they're both Canadian.
Yeah, stat out of the boot. Hey,
I definitely think. I mean, Sammy and Kevin Owens they go a long way back, even to when Kevin Owens signed with WWE.
Yeah,
originally, they have a lot of history together, apart and together. So I think, I definitely think putting them together against the Usos at some point would be good.
Speaking of Canadian, you got Bobby Lashley, the United States champion, walking to the ring right now, about to face Mustafa Ali.
Speaking of Canadian, we have the United States champion making his way to the ring. Bobby Lashley's another one I think who again completely reinvented himself. He's having the best, I would say, the best run of his career as United States champion, at least in WWE. It looks he doesn't age.
No, he's looked the same for what
since 2005.
Yeah,
since him and Donald Trump shaved the head of Vince McMahon.
That's the fountain of youth.
It's crazy, man. Like he looks good. And then putting him in this impromptu match against Ali is gonna be interesting too. Ali kind of confronted him in the back, saying he was putting himself in front of the line for the United States Championship. So this is gonna be a squash.
This is I will say I do like Mustafa's gear. The Ode to Chicago. Got the Chicago stars.
CM Punk confirmed.
Yeah.
It will. I never know.
Yeah, you never know with all the stuff going on with AEW right now, and
He's the White Rabbit.
Dude, what a I don't know. What a show it is in AEW with the EVPs, man, and the whole Punk situation. You were just talking to CW,
yeah.
who's obviously he definitely, if anybody, has some connections all over the world, and he's obviously in the know to an extent. We're never going to know everything. We're only going to know bits and pieces of every story, right? But it's a disaster there, man. I think morale wise, but definitely not with the majority. I definitely think with the EVPs, I think we all aligned together, all four of us, that all those EVPs need to be revoked of their titles, man. And Tony needs to establish himself some authority in that company.
It's like,
because he can't do it all himself.
Yeah, but it's like you said, you can't put someone in an EVP position who's never done anything. When he said that, I was like, okay, I got.
You want to know what's funny?
But it kind of ties back to I was talking. I think Cody was the glue And so I feel like he was talking about that, that president to put his foot down, and I feel like that would be Cody. I feel like Cody took the business to heart.
Yeah.
And so if somebody was going to do something
that's Dusty. Ironically, he was close with Dusty. That's Dusty's boy. There's I think Cody leaving opened a wound deeper than we all even realize.
Yeah, remove the Band-Aid.
Yeah, exactly. That's a better way of phrasing it. Cody was the glue, like you said, Jonathan, holding it together. Because AEW, let's be honest, AEW was Cody's baby. He's the one that took up that was it Dave Meltzer bet on Twitter, that they couldn't sell out 10,000 tickets, and Cody's like, I'll take that bet, Dave. And 30 minutes later, they sold out that arena for All In, which was the precursor to All Elite Wrestling. So with Cody gone, I don't know. I think it leaves him in, I think it opens him up, makes him vulnerable, because now they're getting exposed. CW alluded to that too. Young Bucks, I love you have a certain niche. We're talking about niches, and there's certain people that like what the Bucks do. They love the spots, they love the high flying parts, and that's great and all. But CW was right. Professional wrestling, man, is a emotional roller coaster. Able to tell a story from beginning to end and middle, and have a reason, a rhyme, a reason why you're doing what you're doing. And there's just not many people like that. And I definitely don't get that with the Young Bucks. As much as I like Nick and Matt, I do. And I like watching their matches. I think they're fun, but
it's not telling a story.
It's not storytelling. It's not professional wrestling as we know it, for sure.
Right. I like when he kind of called it back to FTR, and he was talking about the Bucks not wanting them to get over. And I mean, they've organically gotten over, but it's just been in the ring. I mean, it's not been.
What was that saying they had when FTR was, or when they were in WWE? No something, just fists. No
flips, just fists.
I mean, can you tell a better story than that?
Pew pew.
Yeah.
Pew pew pew.
Well, that might have been when they came. No, that was in WWE. They were saying that, weren't they? No flips, just fists. I mean, that's true, man. They are as Road Warrior-esque, I think, as any tag team that we've seen in our lifetime.
So, going back to AEW, I didn't realize this, but their inaugural event was actually Double or Nothing.
That was their first event.
Yep.
But All In was their precursor. It was a Ring of Honor show.
Oh, okay.
All
Okay.
In wasn't
Okay.
considered an AEW show. And then that's where they got the title Double or
Gotcha.
Nothing, because they went All In and then Double or Nothing.
All right, I'm tracking now.
Yep. It was actually Ring of Honor, so to speak, which makes it even more special
Full
that
circle.
Tony bought Ring of Honor. So, I mean, it's just, I think Tony's a great owner. I do. I love what he's done. I love the passion he has for pro wrestling, because we've all seen Tony Khan up close and personal, all three of us. He is passionate about pro wrestling, and he loves the fans. But at the same time, you have a business to run, and you want it to survive long term, right? And you have to put certain things or certain people in place to ensure that.
Yeah,
I think we're getting there. I mean, they've kind of done some restructure. It seems like they've done some restructuring behind the scenes with their meetings, and I mean, they've talked about the lawyer. I can't remember their name. Kind of stepping up and getting a promotion within the company. So I think they're starting to put the plans in place to kind of have
you could do immediately.
No, I think it's been pretty. Side note: there's a new the new Chucky's about to come out.
Yes,
on Sci-Fi.
Season 2.
I've never watched the first season.
It's wonderful. Anyway, I'm sorry. We'll
No, but
guys, expect that a lot this episode if we're going to be watching Monday Night Raw live.
I'm completely okay with that.
It's something different. We want to be different, and that's what we're doing.
I think you mentioned the lawyer and everything. I think one of the first big things that kind of has said, all right, Tony might be finally setting some stuff straight is, and we touched on it last week, him saying, all right, Malachi, sorry, I'm not letting you out of contract.
I think that's actually how it went. I've said it from the beginning. We have our group chat with
Several other
Twig
guys,
and
yeah.
several other wrestling fans. And my opinion, Malachi was gone, and I believe Malachi thought he was gone, and I think something happened behind the scenes where somebody might have gotten Tony's ear. Again, this is just hearsay. This is just an opinion.
Could have been William Regal.
And I could be 100% wrong. I could be wrong, and it could be Malachi was never leaving in the first place.
That's decidable.
Okay, well, sir, hang on. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Malachi was, for lack of better words, gone. Maybe not immediately. I think Tony was going to prohibit him from being able to go to WWE so quick. But I think somebody ended up getting in Tony's ear and be like, hey, we got to hold people accountable for the contracts they sign. And that's where I think we are. But Jonathan is of a different opinion. Again, guys, these are all just opinions that we share.
I am of a different opinion, but I think we'll kind of have a clearer picture after Friday. So I think the rumors are that anybody that has a significant other in WWE might be going or asked for their release, and you've already announced that on Rampage this week is going to be Andrade versus 10. If 10 wins, Andrade's fired, and if Andrade wins, 10 loses his mask. I think it's smart to play into that because it makes. I mean, if we're questioning whether or not people are leaving or committing, I mean, it's a good way to
make it more believable.
But I think if Andrade wins, and
I think Andrade's on his way out.
But then you see they just signed Roosh.
Yeah,
they just announced that, so it's like, oh, wait a second, are they?
Well, one of them is on Twitter saying, "Remember who was it, Andrade?
Free Andrade."
Well,
he posted that today. Free El Idolo, free Andrade.
Well, he was like, "We'll always be brothers, no matter if we're in different companies or not." One of them said that.
Well, I think but
when you click translate to English, of course.
But what if it's the whole, because you see 10's been wearing a different mask here recently. So what if Andrade 10 loses his mask, but it's just that mask? He doesn't become unmasked. He just loses that mask.
How Vince of you.
I'm just saying, and it just becomes something that Andrade can walk out with wearing and then take it off and do his match. Or what if they completely unmask Preston Vance?
His name's Cody.
Whatever.
Oh.
They call him Preston, though, don't they?
I don't know.
I might be wrong. I probably am wrong.
I think it's Preston.
I might be sharing a shoot name from social media. I'm sorry. His real name is Cody. Cody Vance. Sorry. Maybe his first name's Preston. Cody. Definitely Cody.
But no, I like I said, I just think it'll. I think they're smart to play into it, whether or not he really is going or if he's staying. But I think it'll.
Oops. Sorry, Cody. We'll go with Preston.
Take another sip of that drink.
But it's Cody.
No, I agree. Yeah, play into it.
Smart business move.
Whether it's true or not, just let it ride.
Emotional roller coaster.
Yeah,
I like it. Roller coaster is my favorite ride.
Speaking of roller coaster,
Ric Flair.
No, Ali just now did like a helicopter.
Ric Flair did that too on the airplane. Oh. Yeah, baby. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Shane is smiling wide because I just got them both.
Want none if you ain't got fun, son.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh.
Can we? Oh, so.
Slam dunk that alley-oop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hodge twins. Oh, get your Ford Raptor. Guys, we are giving away $50,000.
I love the Hodge twins.
Yeah.
If you don't follow them on Facebook, Instagram,
Dodge TRX.
Did you know they're actually traveling comedians too?
I believe it.
Yeah, they are. Put the political stuff aside, and their comedy is insanely funny. But Colin Kaepernick just slid in the ring.
Oh, wow.
What? He looks just like, no. Yeah.
I don't see it.
Identical. Jonathan, you agree?
I do not.
You do.
I do not.
You do.
Nope.
You want to stay on the show? Just kidding. Just kidding. But he definitely looks just like him.
Nah, I don't see it either.
Elliot, are you kidding me? Exactly. Thank you.
Not exactly. They both have a beard and they both have cornrows right now. That's it.
He looks just like him.
Again,
I think he looks
it's that drink talking.
No,
I think.
it's not.
I think he looks. I think he looks more like Mansoor. Which let's talk about that. L.A. Knight.
Oh yeah.
Finally,
Max Dupree gone.
Max Dupree said, "I'm done with this." Took his belt off.
Thank God.
Threw it at Maximum Male Models and was like, "I'm done with this. I'm out."
Because it was dumb.
It was dumb, and
Had Vince McMahon written all over it.
looks like we'll finally get what he was known as an NXT LA Knight back. Man, I would love if he came back as Eli Drake.
Did he use that name in WWE at any point?
No, they
It was
had
Impact,
him,
right?
They had him at LA Knight the whole time. And I get it. I understand why.
The crowd wouldn't even know who Eli Drake is.
Yeah, but I mean, he got a big following while in NXT as LA Knight. So, and it's same persona, just different name. So I mean, it's a guy he's just. I mean, he's good. Yeah, I was wondering if they were gonna try and make him Elias's brother.
We just spitballing here and think of different things, but
Seth Rollins. Oh, with the stomp to Lashley just now.
look at his clothes.
Bro, I don't.
I cracked him again.
Dude,
He looks like a fool.
dude looks like he came straight out of Alice in Wonderland.
Well, there is a white rabbit in Alice in Wonderland.
Oh my Lord.
Here we go.
Well, okay, so Seth Rollins, I think, is what's on his head, y'all? Did he get cut?
That would be a scab.
He got cut at one time.
He got busted open a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
Like legit busted open. It wasn't a cut or anything.
He got cut the hard way.
Yeah.
But I think Seth Rollins, is one of the most purely talented, well-rounded professional wrestlers in the world. He can talk. I mean, if the gimmick's right, if he's given the certain, that was nice. I mean, I love him. He's definitely Joker-esque here.
Yeah, he definitely plays the psychomaniac card a lot. This Saturday. Here it is.
Do you know, just thinking off the cuff, but one of the best professional wrestlers all around in the world
Christian Cage.
that is not named Christian or Cage or any combination of the two, Nick Aldis, man. He is.
Jay Russo.
It's Jay Rizzo, but close. But Nick Aldis, dude, you talk about a guy that has the talent.
Magnus.
Yeah, and he looks like $1 million, and he brought prestige back to the NWA. Why isn't he on a bigger stage? I don't know. I mean, I would love to know, because he's the complete tool.
He looks like somebody Triple H would get behind.
Right.
We'll see.
Is it his age?
He is a little older, but I think
I mean, it looks like $1 million. I mean, I think we can all agree there. Is he hard? Is he hard to work with?
Is it because he's married? Is he married to Nikki or Mickey James?
Is he Mickey James's husband?
Yeah, he's been married. That's what it is. He's married to Mickey James. He's only 35.
But Mickey's been in WWE.
Yeah, but there's got to be. I know she was part of Impact in the Women's Royal Rumble, but there's got to be some sort of animosity held somewhere by somebody.
We don't know what may or may not have happened backstage. So
I mean, dude, the dude is like what you look for. That is professional wrestling.
He's in his prime right now,
and it's just interesting. I just always thought he was definitely somebody. I mean, he was Impact as Magnus, went to NWA. He's Nick Aldis, and he's put on some banger matches and PWX in North Carolina. I think he worked Ethan Case.
Oh yeah,
on the baseball field. Just somebody I think that needs to be in a bigger platform. But
I wonder,
just a random thought.
I wonder if he's trying to get a bigger platform, though. makes me wonder. I mean, because and who knows? Maybe he's not because maybe how he hasn't made it NWA Power.
Yeah. From what I've heard, though, the people that are in NWA are absolutely loving it. You know, they love that old school, smaller feel. They just prefer it, and the crowd is, it's very old school.
How about the banger of a match? Him and current champion, what's his name? He wrestled with. He used to wrestle in WWE. Reminds me of Harley Race.
Oh, it's Trevor Murdoch.
Trevor Murdoch.
Yeah, he's gold. He's doing the best work of his career.
I mean, you're talking about a guy who's, who
Early 40s.
To me is a Harley Race clone.
Yeah, he's modern day Harley Race.
Yeah.
What's that, Jonathan? What just hit your mind?
I was just when you said Murdoch, and then you were talking about doing the best work of his career. I just started thinking about like people that have left WWE and have done bigger things. What if the White Rabbit is Cardona?
People have been saying that. I'd stop watching.
Really?
No, but
he wants it to be Bray.
So can we just say? I think everybody wants it to be Bray deep down. But let's be honest. Regardless of who the White Rabbit is ultimately revealed to be, it is the most captivating story I think WWE's done in how long? I mean, when's the last time WWE's done a story for several months where you're salivating at the next thought of what
wanting to see what's next?
I mean, I tuned in because I want to see a QR code. Dang it!
But now that thought, I mean, I haven't read that anywhere. But now that thought's there, I mean, I
it's
do
out
think
there.
It's Bray for sure, but I think Cardona would be a good second. I mean, and I could see him.
But then how do they tie that all into all the clues they've given us?
Him playing us. I mean, because he also seems like he's, like following him on Instagram and stuff. I mean, he's pretty good with his wording and like
he's genius
taking the shots and stuff like that. So I could see like him purposely doing all this, trying to, it would be a good way to come back and immediately have heat because people are expecting it to be Bray.
Yep.
But the question becomes, can he come back as Matt Cardona?
Oh, yeah. That's his name.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, him coming back as Matt Cardona, is he going to have an impact?
No, he'd be in WWE.
Or people are going to be like, that's just that writer.
I think that crowd is gone. I think this is a different crowd. This is interesting here. Seth Rollins is still on the TV. So
yeah, he ended that last segment. They went to commercial break, and he's on the mic now, talking about
Bobby Trashley.
Well, now we have cleared Bobby Trashley from the ring.
But I think, I think Matt Cardona is another one that's completely reinvented himself, man. Like what he's done in Game Changer Wrestling, or as I said to Nick Gage, garbage championship wrestling, and he did not like that. He wanted to kill me. But yeah, I think. I'm a revolutionary. So Darius Lockhart confirmed. Another guy.
I am a revolutionary. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah. So
Seth Rollins talking about his match with Matt Riddle going on Extreme Rules with now it's announced with Daniel Cormier is the special guest referee.
Yeah, this Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern time, live streaming on Peacock. WWE Extreme Rules. They're in a MMA style match with Daniel Cormier as a special guest referee. They're calling it a fight pit.
Ugh.
But they've done it in NXT. I mean,
They did do it in
feels
NXT.
like
It was a Shane McMahon thing.
this feels like an Extreme Rules pay per view. It's not just like one match or two matches. I mean, the whole card is nothing but gimmick matches, which is what it needs to be. I mean, that's what the pay per view should be.
So the fight pit was something that actually, that's who I was about to.
Oh, not Shane McMahon. I'm thinking of the Underground. Remember that
you're
gimmick?
talking Underground.
Ugh.
But they had Tommaso Ciampa. They had what was his name? Not Thrasher. Anthony Thrasher. Was that it? Thatcher.
Oh, Thatcher.
Thatcher.
Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah. He was in those matches with
See, folks, I'll be honest with you. This is all stuff I never watched. missed all this.
Riddle was in one, I believe, and Kurt Angle was the
Riddle-
guest. They did the guest referee in that one too. And it was Kurt Angle.
Riddle was in one with Timothy Thatcher. Riddle was also in one with, I believe, Tommaso Ciampa. There's been several that Riddle's been in, but I'm hoping they allow Riddle to finally get his win, but I don't know. I don't know how they run it, but I will say, like y'all mentioned, this does feel more like an Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
I think the first time ever.
Especially compared to past couple of years. You know, I mean, what else is on that card this coming week? We got you've got is Bailey in a match for Bianca?
She is. It's the ladder match.
Yep, that's right.
You know, that'll be actually quite good.
So Bailey Bianca in the ladder match. You have Edge and Finn in an I Quit match. Liv Morgan is facing Ronda.
Let's elaborate, though, on the Edge match. So you have Edge versus Finn Balor with the Judgment Day in his corner. So somebody's going to be evening out the odds here for Edge.
Yeah, you would think so. And I'm going to assume it's going to be Ray and AJ with the beating AJ took tonight.
But there was some friction. They teased some friction between AJ and Ray.
An enemy of my enemy is my friend. So
it's interesting.
This could be the night AJ turns.
I would be down.
That'd be when you do it. So looking at this card, Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey, I think will be actually really good. And the fact that it's an Extreme Rules match, so I think that's going to be able to hide a lot of. Sorry, it's going to be able to hide a lot of weaknesses. The fact that it's an Extreme Rules match, I think Ronda has a unmatched ability because of her background to make things look extremely believable.
Yeah.
I will give that to her credit. I can't stand when she cuts promos. I can't stand her talking.
She's able to make it a little more like a shoot, though.
Yep. I think that's where her strong suit comes in. I think Ronda Rousey wins the title.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Survivor Series and all that coming around the corner and stuff. When do we see Charlotte back? She's been missing for a minute. You know?
I think about the same time as you see Andrade come back in.
Do you think they build on that relationship, or
I think that's what ultimately going to happen. I don't know if that's next week, 2 months from now, or I think that's ultimately what you're going to see. And I think because of social media and because it's so obvious, case in point, Miro and Lana. I think that's why it's inevitable that Lana goes to AEW, because I believe that brings some relevance back to Miro.
Yeah.
And some much needed in TV time for Miro, because he's wasting away, man, on AEW TV, not being given TV time. So I think Lana coming out there will help. So I think the same would go in WWE.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's not. I mean, Charlotte's returns could be any day, but let's not forget, the rumors that Sasha and Naomi are on their way back too. Yeah, that could play a part in it. But going back to the couples thing, I think it does make sense. I mean, I mean, when you're in a relationship, obviously you want to be in the same place. You would like. I would assume most of them would want to be in the same place.
Well,
some might not.
And dating and marriage is completely different. I mean, let's just be real. That's a married couple now. So,
but I would say another difference, it seems like maybe under the Triple H regime and the Vince thing, is it always seemed like anytime WWE held a draft, it was always seemed like Vince's sick idea, to kind of separate couples. There was always,
Aleister Black to Raw, Zelina Vega to SmackDown.
Raw, one would be on SmackDown. So they were already separated. Even they still might have got more time together than being in separate companies, but I mean, it wasn't like they were traveling to the same shows together. So I mean, that always kind of struck me. I was like, that's an odd way to like keep people happy, is to split up couples.
I gathered from the previous administration in WWE that they did not want couples together. You know, look what it did to, I believe that contributed to the downfall of John and Nikki Bella, to be honest with you.
Oh, John Cena, yeah.
You know, they did that thing for Pop on WrestleMania when he proposed to her. But I don't think, I don't know. I just don't think, I think it's different now, especially given the fact that Triple H is married to Stephanie McMahon. I think that, and he's one that's directly gone through it, and still going through it. Oh, God. UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier is cutting a promo, if that's what you call it.
Wearing an Oklahoma State shirt.
An Oklahoma State shirt. And he has a lisp.
I can't tell if he has a lisp or not.
It doesn't seem like it to me.
Oh, well, maybe just me. Well, it sounds like it
It's
to
that
me,
mocha talking.
but I can hear a little bit. But
He's got a Fleur de Lis in the back. Looks like, is it? I know it's part of his logo, but is he from Louisiana? Or is that just a logo that kind of looks that way?
Well, Cormier, he's got some French in him.
That sounds Cajun, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's the French Quarters of New Orleans, and that's just like a New Orleans logo. So, you know, just saying, I'm gonna guess yes.
That looks like a Louisiana logo.
He's from Lafayette, Louisiana, ladies and gentlemen, so you can definitely buy all the signs they're giving us here.
That's not far from
If you guys could see Shane right now, he looks like a Riddle out there with his 420 bro shirt on.
No, I have not had any gummies.
you know, bro.
Shane does not touch CBD or THC gummies anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I saw what happened to Elliot's wife with him.
Oh, yep. Yep.
Made me miss Batman.
Yeah, you'll have to ask her about that and
Yeah,
tell
I
her
can't.
Shane mentioned it on the podcast. Shane was talking about this.
Yep. By the way, I'll go to bat for Elliot. Elliot did not say a word. I did.
Nope. But Shane was there that night. So.
But I was there. I saw it. And I was at the movie that I got interrupted in. So I was there. But how about Matt Riddle, man? Matt Riddle is definitely, the purple pixie eater.
Pixie eater.
What's she called?
Purple pixie.
Oh.
Giant purple people eater.
The screen, guys.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
Looks like some New World Order.
There it is.
There it is. The QR code, ladies and gentlemen. We missed it.
with your phone.
No, we couldn't have got it that quick, but we will see. So Bianca Belair is spelled out Belair. She is in the picture here. So is Alexa Bliss. There's the QR code again. Y'all, this is exciting stuff. If you can't hear it in our voices, this is some of the most captivating storytelling on TV. This whole QR code story that WWE's doing, you can't get that.
It says I'm something twisted. Is what what's her name? Alexa's shirt says right now.
So definitely something in the screen there. But
It's like some New World Order stuff.
New world order
For life.
Nice. That was actually really impressive.
Oh, dang it.
They don't want you to be able to scan that. The purple pixie eater keep coming back on the TV. So we're like, pause. You guys, this is like 1996. Pause. Rewind.
Man, if you want to have to control this on your phone, maybe we...
Touche. Oh, man. I absolutely love what they're doing.
Oh, God, you suck at life.
Guys, we can go to Twitter and find it quicker than this. Because you know somebody's got this already. Oh, this guy goes, damn, missed the QR code.
Oh, there it is. All right.
Who's going to get it?
Now can you erase the Monday Night Raw and all that junk?
Got it. I don't got it. It says tap to scan. Tap to scan. Oh. You suck at life.
Can't get the info off. Yeah, I can.
Got it. All right, guys. You're going to hear it first on the Lowdown Popcast. It takes two.
2 days later.
I hate you. No, it might take me to naked people.
That's part of it. That's what is all right.
Oh, zoom in on that.
We are live on the air, folks.
Yo, this is amazing, man. Oh man, I hear a screaming child. Oh, dude, it's one of those things you got to look at an angle, I think.
I know, that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh my word! It definitely says there's definitely words in there.
It looks like those things you had to, as a kid, you had to like cross your eyes to
I'm trying to do right now.
3D object would come out.
Yeah, there's definitely. This is amazing, y'all. This is the kind of stuff that wrestling has needed, for the longest time. If y'all could look at us right now with our phones, there's definitely.
It's like a bunch of fives.
It's weird, but I'm getting
No,
Bray
it
as the
said-
first word. I'm getting BRAY.
Nope. It's MTA4M.
It sounds like you're just spitting off letters.
What the F does that even mean?
No. I'm serious. MTA4M. There's an equal sign at the end. J.
Ladies and gentlemen, every character that Elliot just spit off, I have not seen.
MTA4MJ. I think that's an L and an equal sign.
I think it's one of those things where the mind sees what you want it to see. And there's definitely something here. What'd you say 2 days later for?
Because you were like, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to find this out
Oh.
here, but the podcast doesn't air till Wednesday. So by then, this would already be 2 days old.
MTA4MJ something. And that's either an equal
MJF.
It's either an equal sign or a colon at the end. I promise.
Me and Jonathan are both looking at Elliot like, sir, what?
I'm telling you, I'm right.
MTA4?
MTA, the number 4, MJ, and it's either an L or an I with a colon or an equal sign at the end. It's abbreviation for something.
For life.
Uh-huh. Well,
The realization of Shane realizing that the podcast was going to air 2 days later. Like he was going to crack something live and everybody was going to be on his boat. Oh, well, yeah.
you'll hear it a couple days later after it's gotten public knowledge.
Oh, Sean Ross Sapp. Oh my gosh, it says everyone to Fight for Select. You better subscribe now.
Oh, he's what a marketing genius he is.
But see, also, so what I'm not seeing on my phone that people are showing is that there's a video that plays too with like a bunch of random.
No, it's not random. Follow the buzzards is what that's telling you. Are those birds?
What? No.
I can't see this far away. Aren't they little birds?
No, definitely not.
Oh, I can't see that far. What a jerk. This guy got it good. This guy got it good, didn't he?
They're characters.
Tonight's QR code. 2 naked people.
QR code sends us to a WWE page in which an image of Elias appears.
Now they're effing with us. They got, oh,
If
somebody
you
said that.
press the black background, you see red and black symbols.
Right?
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Dude, they have gone.
But it's where you press too.
It's telling you something. Those are you got to crack that, whatever that code is.
Yeah, those are codes.
Yeah, there's definitely a meaning to that.
Maybe the stuff in the bottom. Maybe that's
the. I feel like I want in National Treasure.
Yeah.
All right. So,
All right. Well, we got the QR code, so I can go back to playing this.
Yeah. Well, let's move it back forward. Let's go back to live TV now.
It's interesting for sure.
It's captivating, man. It's really got people talking and interested and intrigued and curious. It's got everybody curious. Curious. Sorry, whatever. Bunch of marks.
yeah, we all are.
I love it. Wouldn't change it. This guy goes, QR code alert, come back, Bray Wyatt. This guy goes, I don't get it. I love reading people's like responses to it. It says, one guy says their link has zeros and ones, and it says this when you translate it, Gacy.
I think he's just being funny. But it does have zeros and ones. It's binary code in the web address.
Okay.
It might. Let's see. It is four letters.
Bray.
Or Gacy.
Made me laugh. Or Gacy.
I've seen it a couple of times now. I don't know binary code, so it's probably Gacy. I trust the internet.
That's all of our mistakes. I mean, a lot of people are reporting that. So, yeah, because he typed in a binary code calculator, 011101000001. It says it translates to Gacy. All right, so we know who Gacy was.
Yeah, John.
Gacy was he dressed as a clown. That makes sense. So he dressed as a clown for birthday parties. Let me see here.
He did have a persona with some druid or acolyte looking people.
Gacy regularly performed at children's hospitals and charitable events as Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown. Boy, I hope they don't go too deep with that. I mean, he was a pedophile and raped kids and stuff. So I hope it's like, hope it stops at the clown.
Says right there if you put it in.
Interesting.
Converter.
From Chicago. I'm just looking at like any sort of detail about him.
What's this? What's the photo of Samson and Delilah?
Well, what do we know about Samson and Delilah?
Delilah cut his hair. She was a traitor. She betrayed Samson.
Right. So Bray got his haircut. Okay.
Oh, shoot. Hold up.
I'm going to love that.
I just tapped on the picture.
Yeah, I saw that the 399. I was looking at that.
What is it?
399012. N as in Nancy.
399
There's clues everywhere.
012.
N as in Nancy.
And is in Nancy.
What was neat is she's pointing in the picture. She's pointing to the left, and if that's where you click on, that's where it covers up. So it's like there's definitely like a treasure hunt.
It's beautiful, y'all. I just love it, man. It's intriguing.
What kind of code is this? Wait a second. Hold on. That's the code from the Predator.
What? I don't know. I've never seen The Predator. Look at Jonathan. If y'all could see Jonathan right now, ladies and gentlemen, Jonathan has got his glasses off and has the phone a mere 3 inches from his face, and he's pulling the phone away from his face ever so gingerly. What will he find?
MTA4.
What?
MJI. And then it looks like equal sign.
MJI.
MTA. So I'm with Elliot. It definitely says MTA.
The number 4.
The number 4.
MJI.
What is
equal
M?
sign.
So it's a J.
So the MTA.
It's a J, but it's a J. It's like a
Lowercase J.
lowercase J.
So the MTA is a subway. Is a subway train in New York City. It's the subway. Train 4.
And then an L or an I, an equal sign.
Right? Is the MTA the subway? I'm Googling this.
Oh.
Train 4.
Where you'll find your next QR code.
So, wait.
Or is it a bus? It's a train or the bus? Hang on.
Holy crap.
Where you're the New York expert.
No, I'm from upstate. There's a difference. I'm telling y'all, it's something to do with the train or the buses. We're all wrapped up in this. Oh, I love live.
Bel Air's going to get her hair cut. Bel Air's going to lose her hair. Bel Air gets her power from her hair.
Samson and Delilah.
And the clue that was Bel Air was somewhere in one of the last week's clues.
No, it wasn't somewhere. It was phonetically in order.
Was Bel Air.
Whoa. I just, ladies and gentlemen, I saw the movie Smile last night, and I just got that same feeling. Wow. You put it all together, though. It's.
Whoa. All right. So when you put both lines together under the pic, you get another picture.
What's it of?
Samson when he was blind, breaking the pillars in the
See, he was
How did you
chained.
get there?
I'm on Reddit.
He was chained, and he pulled him down, right?
So it says when you put both lines hidden under the pic, it's www.WWE.com/399012 Nancy 7511720W.
So
The pic has numbers 69012.
go back to that MTA 4. I'm stuck on that.
So I did that.
Here it is. 4 station. It's a train between Manhattan and Brooklyn. MTA 4. It's the Borough Hall station. BOROUGH Hall. 4 is the number 4 train.
MJI. That's going to be Philly, isn't it?
MJI.
Or MJL.
The number 4 train stops. Four train, Lexington Avenue Express.
MJL Rail.
What did you say it was? MTA 4, what's the rest? Equals?
M, J, and either an L or uppercase I, and then equal something.
MJL is Modulia. Where's it at?
Wow.
Where's Modulia? Where's that?
Spell it.
MAJ. HOWLIA.
India. Great colleague confirmed. No, he's Punjab. So it's interesting though. So as we continue to like talk about this clue with the QR code and everything. So it was during Candice Del Rey. Candice LeRae's backstage segment, and her match is going on right now. So I'll be interested to see if something else happens. So what I've noticed though with this QR code, y'all, is that they do multiple per show. What you got, Jonathan?
I don't know if that's true or not, but is that it?
Bray tweeted a Samson Delilah picture after he lost to Randy.
Bray, he is a maniacal, methodical person. He knows exactly why he's posting something at any given time. How long ago was that? That was his last match.
I don't know if this is true. It says if you touch the picture, it gives you a URL. If you zoom in on the picture on that page, it gives you a number. That number is the UPC for White Rabbit Milk.
See,
The 6901.
Was it?
Yeah.
I love it. I
was right.
What does it mean?
Oh, hold on. It said Bray posted that pic after his match with Orton, which
Yeah.
was after Alexa Bliss betrayed him.
Hey,
Did Alexa betray him in the Orton
all right,
match?
pull up the
Well, kinda. She didn't really betray
She
him,
just
but she didn't help
distracted
him.
yeah. And the clue came on when she was on TV.
Right. That's what I was saying. She was in the picture. So was Belair.
all right. Y'all ready? The first line.
And if anybody, I'm going to say this because this really aggravates me with this internet wrestling community, says that Bray Wyatt is overrated. You're going to have to take a seat because the thing about Bray Wyatt is he is a creative genius. Can we not agree with that, Elliot?
No,
I think he is one of the most captivating, ingenious, gifted storytelling workers in professional wrestling. And do we have a little clue?
I just showed him the script. He's like, holy.
It's like all those symbols are Latin.
All right. So
Okay.
let's see it real quick.
Johnny Wrestling.
Looks like a white rabbit on his chest.
Who? What's happening here, y'all? Who's that?
The Miz?
B-E-L-A-R.
Oh, wait. Belair.
Belair.
Yes.
This is the code. This is the
Yep. Yeah. So first word's Belair.
Yeah. Oh God, Otis. I can't stand him either. Come on, Elliot.
Belair.
We're still rolling.
Me.
Belair B what?
No, me.
Belair me.
Interesting.
Belair. I think that's. No, it's not Belair. It is B-E-L.
Belar.
B Larry, the dog, CM Punk.
I mean, unless they messed up the code, which they could have.
That would ruin everything.
No, below.
Okay.
Below me.
Below me. Got it.
Below me.
Oh. Stupid. What?
Below me, got it.
I could have sworn that's what you said. It's Vince.
Vince is coming back.
Oh, God.
So below. I can't even do it no more.
Below me. Scissor me, daddy.
So
Ass.
Thank you. Hey, we're going to have to put an E on this episode, Elliot.
I know.
For extreme.
TR.
Championship Wrestling. Remember that intro? Oh my Lord, that was amazing. Elliot,
What?
what are you doing?
I'm reading this.
Okay, quicker. We're live, pal.
Yeah, well, y'all can keep talking.
I can't read Latin. Wait a minute.
It's not Latin. It's the script from Predator. It's font I was talking about. They use in Predator.
It's pig Latin. Husky Harris confirmed.
Wrong way.
What?
Angre.
I don't get it.
It's pig Latin. Angre.
What's that mean?
Wrong.
Oh. Well, how do you speak pig Latin? What's that? I don't even know how that works.
How do you speak pig Latin?
Yeah.
You just start with the first vowel, say the word, and then the beginning consonant. So that wrong would be ong, ray, and then you add the AY at the end. Aderlay.
What a confusing language.
All right, so TRE.
L? TRL?
No.
Total Request Live? You all right over there?
No, I'm thinking about what Elliot says. I'd rather stick my dick in a meat grinder.
Wiener. I'd rather stick my wiener in a meat grinder.
Oh, whatever. It's just, ow. I dropped my phone. Well, whatever. I was thinking of like what the perfect time to say that would be.
It's pretty spot on.
Thanks. He's still randomly. He's like, no, I say wiener. Oh man, this has been a very fun episode.
Podcast is already rated E. It's okay.
Yeah,
You can say it.
No, I mean I just don't. Ready for everyone.
not. That is a lie.
Dad, I listened to your podcast. Oh, dang it.
Who let you listen? How'd you sign into that? Mom let me. Oh,
Yeah.
that's how it would work. Go back to the train, y'all. I'm stuck on the MTA train.
What do you need?
That's got to be it.
MJL.
MTA4.
That's
Yeah,
the number 4 train.
MJL. But J in the L
Unless
or
it's a
lowercase.
1. It could be a 1. MJ1?
It's a transfer train to the number 1 train. It's 4-1. Okay, that makes sense. There's the 4 transfers to 1. Okay, so okay, 4 train line. Yes, transfers.
Thanks for sticking with us, guys. While we try to figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. H. 2 H's.
2 H's. Triple H. Hunter Hearst.
We are playing the game.
They got us, y'all. WWE has got us vested because
Did you get that?
what?
Yeah, so it's below me. I did not get that one. No.
What? Share with the listeners.
Below me.
Okay. What's after that? Yeah. Oh, y'all, they're hiding. They're concealing evidence.
I mean, you have to look. You have to look at the code and then try and find the code, and then
It's letter by letter. So
yeah.
Letter by letter.
that is some sad news, though.
Yeah.
Oh, Antonio Inoki.
Yeah, it was definitely sad.
All right, so that's an H right here.
I feel like the code's going to end up with
Being
it telling us
solved.
that Dak Prescott is the future QB of the Dallas Cowboys.
He is the QB of the Dallas Cowboys, but
So,
we can't talk about that right now.
TH.
See?
Delta 8. TH. The.
I feel like we might just need to pause the podcast and come back.
Below me, there's
The link for the QR code on October 3rd Raw spells Gacy and includes coordinates for the Wells Fargo Center.
Was that it?
Confirmed.
Where's the Wells Fargo Center?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Extreme Rules.
Well, gotta be. Yes. Wells Fargo Center's in Philly. So we have, and is the host of Extreme Rules confirmed. So, go back. All clues have been pointing to Extreme Rules, going back to Belair, whether it's referring to Bianca or not, or the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air from Philly. Clues are pointing to Philadelphia with Extreme Rules. Now,
So it's below me things. Go ahead, Shane.
so as they continue to decipher the codes,
So it says the Magic Eye reads MTA for MJL, which is the SKU code for White Rabbit Milk. Satin also noted that if you put the code into a base decoder, it translates to 10/8/22, which is seemingly
Saturday.
the date for Extreme Rules.
okay. So, with all signs pointing to Extreme Rules, are we getting a
And then the numbers on the page 7517202 are the coordinates for the Wells Fargo Arena.
Are we getting a reveal? Are we getting a return? Are we getting an in-person presence? What do you all think we're going to get? How does this culminate in Philadelphia this Saturday? What do you think?
What if it's a group?
Okay. I'll bite. Whoa, they just had the women again in the back.
Yeah, that was after the match.
So we're rewinding back to we initially saw the QR code and seeing who was involved here.
Well, no, I'm looking for something real quick.
Jonathan's very detailed. That was it. I want to see who's in this picture again. So you have Gargano's wife, okay, Candice LeRae. We have Bianca Belair. So Belair's been phonetically linked to the spelling of the code. You have Asuka and Alexa Bliss. There's a sound too.
Sounded like it. That's what I was checking. It. The sound when the QR code kind of sounds like the intro to the Firefly Funhouse.
Funhouse.
Yeah. Who was the fourth one? Asuka, right?
Needless to say, this episode of Raw has been rather interesting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it should be. I mean, if everything is leading to Extreme Rules, I mean, Extreme Rules is this Saturday. So, I mean, they got to do as much as they can to build up.
They're doing a great job. I gotta give WWE credit. They have intrigue from me. I can only speak for myself. They have me. I bit. So now, let's see how they deliver. But going on the match right now, we have Johnny Gargano versus Otis. Otis is somebody I can't get into. It's weird because I like Gable. I think he's funny, but for some reason, for some reason, I can't buy into the Otis gimmick. Elliot, what is it? I mean, what? I mean, I remember they put
we saw him for so long be this funny guy, and it's hard to just. I don't know. I haven't I've never been able to buy into him as a.
Remember they put the Money in the Bank on him at WrestleMania.
Yep, just to squash him.
Yeah. So it's like there was somebody that was high on him at one time, or maybe they were high in general.
That one time.
Yeah, but I just don't think he's good, man. I think Gargano is a diamond in the rough.
Aladdin?
Oh, Jesus. Look at it. I can't get it. Look at this.
Back to the podcast.
Yeah. So, did we finish our Extreme Rules card? Let's see. We had Extreme Rules. We had the Liv Morgan Ronda Rousey match. Okay. Prediction? I've already said I think Ronda Rousey takes the belt.
To me, it makes the most sense for Ronda to win, but
It is an Extreme Rules match.
I think somehow Liv retains.
Okay.
Whether it be interference or.
So we have Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins in a fight pit match with Daniel Cormier serving as a special guest referee.
I think Riddle finally gets his win. Finally gets his win over Seth. So I think
I'm going to toss up on that one. I think it helps Riddle the most, but the way that they've
been
portrayed and building up Rollins, I don't think. But I could see Cormier getting involved or something maybe, and it costing somebody. I mean, or costing one of them. If Rollins loses, it's definitely not clean. There's something that causes him to lose.
Brock? Well, with reports Brock Lesnar's facing Daniel Cormier at Extreme Rules, or in Saudi. When's the Saudi event?
Soon, but so I'll go with that. Brock will show it whenever he wants.
That seems to be the general.
He'll they're in that. What was it fight?
He's gonna rip the door open.
Fight pit. He's gonna rip the whole wall off.
Yep.
Destroy everybody and leave.
Yep. Well,
on his tractor.
And Jonathan
right out
will
the
leave.
arena.
Jonathan will leave. Number 3,
ride that tractor straight to Saudi.
Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match.
I think Karrion wins.
Yeah. Elliot, what do you think?
I think that might be where you get your return.
Of Bray?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see how that fits in with anything.
I don't think it does, but I would also to me it doesn't fit in any of the matches that are on the card so far. So,
meatball.
Braun Strowman just
I can't get past
Otis.
his red. Oh,
Ooh,
that hurt.
About took out itself.
I can't stand the red pants, y'all. I can't do it.
He's just trying to show off his new physique.
With red pants?
Yeah. Skinny pants. He's on the...
Uh-oh. Bye, Gable.
Oh.
That was perfect. Match 4. Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Ladder match for the Raw Women's Championship.
Well, I think Alexa interferes heel.
Okay.
I think Bayley wins. I'm just not quite sure how. I think that's how we're watching Raw, but we have it pretty much muted, so we can't really hear. I think the stipulation just a few minutes ago were if Damage Control won their match against Candice, that they were in Bayley's corner for the match. I think that's what just happened. So, I mean, that ultimately, I think Bayley wins.
Edge versus Finn Balor. In the corner of Finn Balor is the Judgment Day, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley in an I Quit match.
I think you have interference here.
Not a clean
I think
finish.
Finn gets the win, though.
I do think.
So Edge says he quits.
I think so.
I mean, I think Finn wins. I don't know if I see Edge saying I quit unless it comes at the expense of maybe Ray coming down to help and then them
Ganging
taking
up
out
on
Ray, and then that's the only way Edge can make it stop. Yeah. But I see Finn winning. I don't see him losing. And I don't see Finn saying I quit.
Where's AJ Styles fit in this?
I don't know. I'm still undecided on that. Like I said, they teased some friction between AJ and Ray earlier, but that could just be to kind of throw us off.
Well, Dominic's in the match. Well, he's in the corner, so he might come out even the odds a little bit. A couple different routes they can go. This is the last match I see. The Brawling Brutes, Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch versus Imperium, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci. In a 6-man tag team, good old-fashioned Donnybrook match.
It's hard. It's hard for me to see Imperium losing.
Now, see, I go the other way. I think Sheamus gets his win. I don't see Gunther taking the fall, but I see Sheamus and them winning.
So we have no heavyweight championship on the card, huh?
Nope. No bloodline at all. No Usos. No Sami Zayn.
Roman Reigns.
Well, I think they haven't been advertising Roman at all for the pay-per-view for a while now.
Okay.
I do feel like they're running out of time. It's this week, but I feel like there's definitely some more matches that need to be announced. I mean, that didn't seem like a very
six matches listed so far.
A very stacked card. I mean, they are gimmick matches, so they could take their time, but we got an impromptu Gable versus Strowman match here.
But while that's going on, let's move on over to the other company, with Dynamite.
Yeah. I enjoyed it seems like we've, at least since I've been a part, AEW's kind of been the topic of conversation just about every episode. So it's nice to spend a good bit of time talking WWE and
it's different.
Everything that's going on.
It's a breath of fresh air. It's like the Brandon Davis of professional wrestling. Breath of fresh air. Let's talk about the Dynamite card we got coming up later tonight. MJF versus Wheeler Yuta. The salt of the earth versus one of my favorite human beings on earth. What do you think, Elliot? MJF he's piping hot right now.
Man, I don't see that letting MJF lose.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be a decisive victory. I think it's going to be made like an example of. I love Wheeler, right? But he's he's kind of lost his momentum with the Blackpool Combat Club a little bit. The focus has been on Bryan and Moxley. So Wheeler's kind of gotten brushed off to the side a little bit. I think Wheeler's promo was really good. He's definitely improved substantially on the mic. But I think against MJF, MJF's first match back, I can almost see as MJF not allowing the match to happen. Even though it's announced, some way nuclear heat weaseling himself out of it. But if the match does happen, I definitely have MJF easily, handedly. Jonathan?
Well, you're talking about Yuta's promo skills improving. What I did like was after the promo when MJF was up in the box. I loved Yuta coming in
behind
and
him.
attacking him. That was I really enjoyed that
That was good
part
stuff.
of the story. I could see MJF weaseling out of the match for sure. If the match happens, I mean MJF wins. I don't think I think it'll be a good match, but I definitely see MJF winning. There's no way.
How about this one, Elliot? Hangman Page versus Roosh.
Yeah. I know Roosh just got signed, but Hangman.
Is that confirmed? He did sign. I know he's offered a contract.
No, they
Yeah,
they
he's signed.
posted on.
Or I'm thinking Bandito. I'm sorry, I'm getting Bandito mixed up.
They posted on AEW's.
That's right. That's a big AEW win. And with Bandito, interesting on off topic, Bandito is actually rumored to have drawn interest from Stamford, Connecticut, which would be interesting. Considering the Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio.
Was that based on his match with Jericho, or is that before?
I think it was before.
I think it's what led to AEW offering him a deal.
Okay.
However, let's be honest here. Looking at what WWE's history of Lucha Libre stars, Rey Mysterio, right?
That's about it.
What has happened? Oh, here's another interesting off topic. Bianca Belair. So something's about to happen again.
Something always happens in the background.
Something during this contract signing is going to happen. So we got to be ready for that.
Yeah.
But so Lucha Libre is huge. It's actually a huge focus of, and WWE off topic is WWE does.
Are you ready?
WWE does things during commercials too. So you gotta be looking out for that. But Lucha Libre is huge, especially in AEW Ring of Honor. It's a huge focus for them. WWE has a bad history of not doing right by Lucha Libre stars. I think Rey Mysterio is the minority here. Yeah, he's definitely the minority here. But think of stars that have come to WWE. Sin Cara, that didn't work. Mystico,
The Lucha House Party.
yeah, that didn't work. Shoot, they used to have Psychosis and all them riding John Deeres called Juan Deeres. I mean, they just never knew what to do with
Latino World Order.
They just never knew what to do with.
That was WCW.
It transferred over too, didn't it? Did it not transfer over? Oh,
It's okay. I mean, it's
I thought for some reason I thought they tried their hand at that also in WWE with Eddie.
radicals. It's the radicals. But regardless, the point is that WWE just never can, for some reason, never appreciated the cruiserweights like WCW. WCW was the land of the cruiserweights. They knew what they were doing, and that's what AEW is reiterating in their product. These smaller stars, man, Roosh, Bandito. I guess if you call them Lucha Libre, I mean they're a little bigger. But,
I mean one of the best
Ray
tag
Phoenix.
teams.
Yeah.
One of the best tag teams in the world is Lucha Brothers, right?
Oh, and they're phenomenal.
Luchasaurus.
Is not a cruiserweight.
But he's a Lucha Libre.
I thought we were talking about Lucha, not
Um,
cruiserweights.
but I think
October 21st, Black Adam.
yeah, that'll be talked about. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what, especially with the rumor of Andrade El Idolo moving back to WWE, what they're going to do with it.
Hangman won the Battle Royal,
Yeah,
so he's not losing this match.
can't. That would completely
That discredits him if he does.
agree. What I think will be my match of the night, Jay Lethal versus Darby Allin, I think is an interesting contrast of characters here. I think, my opinion, Jay Lethal goes over. But Darby Allin, I mean, one of the cornerstones of AEW, right? One of the pillars, in my opinion. Versus a cornerstone of Ring of Honor. That's a toss-up, but I'm going with Jay Lethal.
What if like Jay Lethal and his goons try and jump Darby?
And you get a Sting appearance.
I was gonna say, Brody King comes out and helps his old buddy, real life buddy Darby. He comes to the ring. There's that stare down. He's like, "Oh crap, Brody!" And about to attack Darby. And all of a sudden, he helps Darby out.
What if they do a tease that Darby joins the house and there's a animosity created between the house and Sting?
Yeah.
Which way Darby's going to go?
That would be interesting because it was reported that Sting is trying to get Darby to team with him and Muta in Muta's retirement match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, then that's months away. So,
what an interesting build. I like it.
Or Sting said that he interviewed with Sports Illustrated, and he said he was trying to get Darby to kind of team with him and Muta.
Man, you talk about somebody who's completely taken somebody under their wing and just kind of where he's supposed to be the mentor. Darby's breathed life into his career big time.
Yeah, Sting's helped elevate Darby. I mean, think of the match. I mean, Darby was the chosen one for CM Punk.
Yeah,
his return match. So we can't discredit Darby at all, and Sting's only helped solidify his status in AEW. I just giggled because apparently AEW is labeling Wednesday as National Scissoring Day.
Yeah.
Are they labeling it that?
Yeah.
Was that already labeled? I think that
They
was
talked about
already.
it the other night, I thought.
I think that was already a thing.
That makes it even better.
Look at that random poster on the wall. Random chiropractic poster on the wall.
Dr. Matt Boyson. Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson versus Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara.
Oh, that's still on the Dynamite card.
Mm-hmm.
Good, about time.
What a great show this is going to be.
About time because you now finally get Daniel Garcia part of the Blackpool Combat Club.
Do you? So interesting here. So you got Garcia and Danielson versus Jericho and Guevara. What if Garcia turns on Danielson and he's aligns with Jericho and Guevara?
I tricked you, fool.
Yeah. I mean, that's typical professional wrestling, right?
Yeah.
That's the roller coaster. Interesting segment about to happen here while we're talking. All right. So while we're talking, Toni Storm, Athena, Willow Nightingale with Saraya versus Jamie Hayter, Serena Deeb, and Penelope Ford with the Doctor, Britt Baker. DMD.
I hope Toni Storm loses.
God, he looks horrible.
Deservedly so.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Jeffrey Dahmer,
Corey Graves is on the TV. Oh.
I was gonna say he's definitely a she if we're talking about Toni Storm, but you were talking about Corey Graves. Okay.
yeah, I just let Britt Baker's team win. Hurry up and end this title reign.
Well, you have Saraya at ringside.
Yeah, I mean,
She's not going to be made to look foolish. So she's got some hand. There's got to be a tease here of Saraya being cleared. There has to be a tease. There has to be physical contact. There has to be something with what Saraya used to do as Paige turn.
yeah,
There's got to be some sort of move that she gets up on somebody to show that she's cleared.
got to get physical.
even if she just throws one of her kicks, like she used to
Something.
throw. Yeah,
Because remember what Edge did in WWE? He hit a spear. And that was confirmation that, okay, he's able to go or do something. Luchasaurus is in action with Christian Cage in his corner. That's good. Whatever. So
see who he outworks.
all right, so Bianca Belair's entrance is happening on Raw. It seems to be she's a part of or a clue.
Focal point.
Yeah, focal point. Focal point in this whole QR code thing. It's interesting. It's going to be intriguing. I would be looking for a QR code in the crowd here. WWE's been doing that.
They've been doing that. They've also been sticking it up on the announcer's table. But I don't see that happening. It'd be way too difficult to try and scan.
The big thing with AEW show this week, though, is it's their 3-year anniversary show.
Man,
Oh yeah,
that is right.
So I could see something big happening.
3-year Dynamite, or is it 3-year total? Or just period?
Dynamite, I think.
Okay.
I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, 3 years on national television.
Yeah, obviously it could be 3 year total because that was May. My bad.
So I wonder what I don't know. I mean, who knows what Tony Khan? Let's be honest. Tony Khan, when he's a surprise, it doesn't leak. It does not leak. So it's interesting to see what happens there.
And they did. You didn't read it out on. They just announced. I think like an hour ago that Wardlow would be going against Brian Cage for the TNT Championship on Dynamite too.
Thank God. Okay, that's a hoss fight for one.
Yeah.
All right, now you haven't seen Brian Cage in how long?
Ring of Honor. Last Ring of Honor show.
Was it that long? I mean, that's what months.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's a part of the Ring of Honor the Ring of Honor
roster,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out with Tully Blanchard.
He came out with Tully Blanchard, but then Tully Blanchard
left like the next night.
They got what's the guy's name? Prince guy.
Yeah, and you're right. And
Gresham was there. Gresham was part of it.
Yeah. Does Brian Cage take this belt from Wardlow?
No. Not a chance.
Okay, so when's the last time Wardlow defended the title on television?
Well, he does it on Rampage about every week.
On Dynamite.
Oh, no.
He's kind of been lost in the creative ruckus,
Not
I think.
a chance.
Okay.
The tenties.
Okay.
Oh, it's $100, guys.
All in.
All out.
I think it'd be interesting because Brian Cage had a run with the TNT title, didn't he? He had a run with a title.
FTR. FTW title.
Yeah. Well, if Brian Cage has been being complained about, but we could not give him TV time, this is an easy way to get him TV time. I'd be intrigued. I'd be interested to see if they pull the strap.
I think what you see is how much bigger Wardlow really is than Brian Cage this match.
Taller.
Yeah. Not bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cage is a monster.
Oh, I know that, but I think you finally see we all know how massive Brian Cage is, and he looks tall.
Freak.
He looks taller than he really is.
Yeah, he's not tall.
I think you finally get to see that size difference.
Somebody's gonna have lifts.
Oh, I'm sure. He wears them regularly, doesn't he?
Brian Cage is listed at 6 feet, 272. Wardlow has got to be everybody 6'3", 6'2", 266.
Yeah, but Brian Cage ain't no 6 foot.
I don't know, 6 foot. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Have we seen a QR code yet? Anything?
No, there's a Fiend mask in the middle of the screen.
What?
You don't see the Fiend?
Oh, that's
I want to be on TV.
That's not coincidence. That's sitting hard cam.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, that's not coincidence. I'd be looking at like
They should put a QR code on the mic.
that's what I've been looking for
brilliant.
for 2 weeks. Sorry guys, we're getting.
What's the deal with the beads down her scalp?
She's been like soldered together.
Bejeweled.
Bedazzled?
Something like that.
Her scalp's bedazzled.
But yeah, that was all that was announced for Dynamite. I think the only thing I've seen for Rampage is the Andrade versus 10 from the Dark Order match. If 10 wins, Andrade quits AEW. If Andrade wins, 10 loses his mask. So I think we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, I don't see Andrade winning. I think we are kind of in agreement that he's really trying to get out of his contract. And heck, it may be close to being up.
Jonathan doesn't think that.
I don't.
I'm in agreement.
I don't
That's right.
think I don't think he's trying to get out.
I do. I think he's trying to get back to Charlotte, or not North Carolina, but trying to get the Charlotte back to WWE.
Flair, woo.
Yeah, woo. But I think that's his goal. But
Man, still no QR code.
eh,
Maybe it's on her sunshades that
maybe
she
it's
hasn't
in
put
the
on
table.
yet. Huh.
Any other wrestling news? Elliot, Jonathan?
Looking, so Dynamite is Wednesday, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look for something to happen in the background.
Yes, so
You got Damage Control attacking
okay.
Bianca, or Bailey's attacking Bianca in the ring, and then you got Damage Control attacking Asuka and Alexa in the back.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Your Google Voice keeps popping up. It ain't my fault.
We just missed everything.
I think it's YouTube TV's way of telling us to focus on the podcast.
Well, if
When
it
the
was on
podcast is focused on the product.
if it was on YouTube TV,
Instead of casting crowns.
I don't want to put my password in. Well, Oscar won't be there.
Oh, what's Bliss doing? Uh-oh. Okay.
And then we'll see our QR code.
So somebody's got an interest in Bliss. I definitely think Bliss is a part of what's to come.
I mean, it would be crazy not to bring her back in, right? I mean, as big as the part she had last time.
Yes, because she went downhill fast without him. Without Bray. Bray and Bliss together. Now remember, during the COVID pandemic, though, this was during the pandemic. They weren't in front of all these crowds every week, you know? They were limited. Now, the shackles of COVID are off. It's over. We're back to normal. Let's see what they can do. So I'm interested.
So what I would say before we had to get back on track with the show was, so Dynamite is Wednesday.
Yes.
Rampage is Friday, and that's when the Andrade match is happening. But Rampage is live on Friday, not taped.
Are you sure?
Yes,
You said it last
because-
time, and I was disappointed.
Yes, because they're also filming, and it's going to air right after. So Rampage comes on at 10, and then Battle for the Belts 4 comes on at 11.
Live?
Which is headlined live, which is headlined by Pac versus Trent, which they've already announced. That's the only match they've announced.
It's too much. It's too much. They got to do that. They got to do better.
But that's what we want, is 2 hours of Rampage.
Not
But
at
the-
11
the
o'clock at
issue
night.
is the time slot.
It's bad. Horrible.
They lose a ton of the East Coast doing that.
I agree, but I also don't watch a lot. I mean,
And it's a Saturday night,
I
bro.
make sure to
People
try
go to
to- I
church
make
on
sure to
Sunday?
try
No,
to
it's
watch.
Friday night.
Whatever.
What?
Whatever.
I make sure to watch Dynamite live, because if not,
Yes.
it'll definitely get spoiled for me before I watch it.
Dang it.
But I mean, I don't watch.
Jonathan
a whole
has
lot
left the chat.
I don't watch a whole lot of stuff live, so the fact that it comes on at 11, I can always go back and watch it. I mean, as long as
Well,
I
then
stay
there's
awake.
no need for it to be live.
I never said it had to be.
Well, it has to be for me. But I'm still not watching. It's too late. Too late. I'm an old man.
And you'll just be getting home from work.
Oh.
Because you're being Orangeburg. It's on the way home.
Anywho.
Hey, so you watch Smile?
Well, wait a minute. There's two movies we need to talk about, really.
No, there's just one.
No, there's two.
No, there's just one.
Because we watched Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh, it was trash.
It was not trash.
Well, I have not seen it yet,
I-
but
In all actuality,
the wife wants to watch it.
This is going to be
so-
everything spoiler free, because we do have people that it's still pretty new, right?
Yeah.
So we have to be respectful.
Comeback must be fresh, must be fierce.
Okay, so
They
Must be
advertised
Monday.
Brock Lesnar on this commercial and said must be fresh.
oxymoron.
Monday Night Raw. Chucky.
That was Tiffany. That was Jennifer Tilly. Did you see that?
So
That's Jennifer Tilly. All right, so Hocus Pocus 2.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's everything we expected it to be. We didn't
Bathroom break.
No. So we're not going to do any spoilers. It just came out. It just came out Disney Plus. I encourage everybody to see it. I think it was a great modern.
I do not.
I think it was a great modern take on a cult classic. There were some funny moments. There were some head scratching moments. There were some great throwbacks to '93. I mean, it's no Golden Globe Oscar winner by no means, but again, it's a family friendly movie. I would feel comfortable letting my kids watch it. Definitely has some wokeness thrown in there with it. That's to be expected with a modern day Disney movie. I'd give it a solid 6.
4.
I'd give it a 6. Just from the family friendly aspect. It's the best part of the movie is Bette Midler, without a doubt. She hasn't aged a bit. Sarah Jessica Parker looks horrible. And it's just as much annoying in this one as the first one, if not more so. Kathy Najimy is hilarious. The Roombas will crack you. But yeah, I give it a 6.
It's not,
predictable, but
and some may say this is the difference between a movie in '93 versus a movie in 2022. For me, the Hocus Pocus quote unquote magic aspect in this is a bit darker for me. I'm not saying it's like Doctor Strange dark by any means, but it is darker. It does dive more into the occult, and it's just one of those things that I don't know. The seriousness of the quote unquote witchcraft or whatever was just for me and showing my kids it's kind of just a bit too much. And I said this for Thor: Love and Blunder. The wokeness, keep the wokeness out of it for me, and I'm good. But other than that, it's about. I'd still give it like a 4.
I mean, this is a opinion segment, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like not going to judge anybody on any of it.
But I'm also someone who wasn't high on the hog with the original Hocus Pocus.
Right.
And I actually watched it the day. I watched it the day before. I watched Hocus Pocus 2. I watched it all the way through. Are there funny moments? Absolutely. I think for most movies there's some funny moments. But
I think seeing the Sanderson sisters walk into a modern day Walgreens, I think was funny.
Now
There was some funny spots.
They made the movie.
They did.
Those three made the movie. Sarah Jessica Parker's the best one in there.
What? So I said we weren't going to talk about anybody's opinions. Yeah, right.
No, they definitely made the movie. Anytime you can do a sequel or prequel and use the original cast, I enjoy it.
And stay for the credits. You might be happy, you might not be happy.
Yeah, stay for the credits. Credits were good. Showed the ending.
So, y'all, I am a horror movie buff. So horror movies to me are coffee to Elliot. All right. I like to consider myself a horror movie connoisseur. I love scary movies. I do. So interestingly, the other night I messaged Elliot because we like to go to movie. Like if we go to see a movie or a movie in theater, we like to go, late at night when the kids are asleep, wife's asleep, whatever. We're kind of night owls.
Regal Pass.
Yeah, Regal Movie Pass Unlimited, whatever that's called. Regal
Freaks
Unlimited.
come out at night.
So I messaged Elliot the other day, and I was like, Elliot,
See what you working with.
Elliot, I want to go see.
Below me.
There's two
There's
two movies that come out. You know, they're pretty new to theaters. The newest ones in theaters. It was Barbarian or Smile. Elliot's response was, "Are they both scary movies?" I said, "No, they're more thrillers." You know, just kind of beat around the bush a little bit. But we didn't end up going that night. And then I talked to my wife Jess, and you know we like to go to movies a lot too. And I was like, "Hey, I want to go see Smile tonight," and she's like, "Well, I want to go see it." So I purposely held off and didn't go. So we had the opportunity to go last night. So I was like, Jess, let's go see Smile. You know, we got our kids watched by the grandma, and we're like, let's go see Smile. Well, so let's be honest. I watched the trailer, and the trailer was very interesting. It was intriguing. I loved how Paramount, or was it Paramount? No. Who's promoting that movie? Paramount or Warner Media? Somebody that, well, anyway. So the way they're promoting the movie is by paying all these actors by going to these large sporting events.
No, that was Paramount.
It's Paramount.
Yeah.
So they're paying all these actors, and they're sitting in the crowds of these large-scale sporting spectator events, and they're on the hard cam, and they have these smiles on their faces. These are high-paid actors that are promoting the movie.
Sort of freaky.
Yeah, it's very, very, very weird. So I went to see the movie with the wife, and I'm not gonna lie. Let's just start. I'm gonna give it a solid 8. It was very, 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 very scary to me. It was not what I expected it to be about. It wasn't until about maybe halfway through the movie where it was able to be pinpointed that this was a demonic movie. So I'm not going to give any spoilers because somebody here is going to see the movie. Jonathan is going to see this movie. I'm not going to give any spoilers at all. I'm just going to say there's at least 15 moments in this movie where I looked at my wife and every hair on my body was standing up, and it reminded me of a movie, Hereditary. There's not many movies that made me feel that way. The first Insidious, when I first saw it, gave me that feeling. Hereditary gave me that feeling. Smile definitely gave me that feeling. At the same time, it's got a predictable finish, as somebody alluded to on my social media. It's got a predictable finish. It does. Is it cheesy? Okay. But just because I don't like the way something ends doesn't take away from the fact that the movie in its entirety, I think, was incredibly well done. I don't think it's going to win any Oscars or win any Academy Awards. But I think considering the time of year it is and the themes of the movies that are coming out in major movie theaters this time of year, it's exactly what it needed to be. I encourage anybody and everybody to, if you're into this type of movie, I preface it is a demonic movie, very bone chilling, especially if you believe in the possibilities of what the movie's depicting. I think it's worth seeing. But if you have any opposition to seeing that type of film or inviting that, or quote unquote, inviting that type of spirit into your movie watching, don't see it. But if I got a couple friends that are going to end up seeing it, and I think they're going to like it. But I approve. It's got my stamp of approval. Solid 8. Ending was kind of blah, but doesn't take away from the entirety of the film. So yeah, that's my take on Smile. But what we got upcoming? There's a lot of movies that I saw ads for.
Movie of the year, possibly. At least when it comes to all the promotion it's gotten, for sure.
The way Dwayne Johnson's promoting that film, showing up, and you don't ever see Dwayne Johnson show up in gimmick or show up in.
He always shows up in gimmick.
Yeah, true, touche. But like in full, it was Disney, wasn't it? Was it Disney? Where did he come out of the floor at the awards or something? He came out in Black Adam costume. I thought that was pretty cool.
DC.
Yeah,
so.
I thought that was amazing.
So it wouldn't be Disney.
Wouldn't be Disney. I'm not sure.
It was some award show he came up.
But it's definitely something he's been
Was it Comic-Con? Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe. That makes sense. So Black Adam, I think, is going to be.
This movie will make or break DC.
The current state,
Better
I agree.
make it. Better make it.
I agree. I think DC's in a unique boat. Me and Shane were talking about this earlier. I don't think I'm worried about Black Adam.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of promotion they put into it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to take a lot. I'm not saying it can't, but I think it's going to take a lot to live up to the hype, which to me is a scary territory to be in for anybody involved. And because I also think a lot of the current state of DC is riding on the success of Black Adam and Dwayne. I mean, Warner Brothers has already canceled a lot of stuff that DC was working on. I mean, movies that were pretty much already done. As far as I know, the Flash movie's still on, but I think if this doesn't do well, I think it may completely change the aspect of where DC stands with the current state of their universe and the movies.
Or if this goes well, do we suddenly see all these other movies start getting released that were done?
That I'm not sure about, but I mean, Dwayne's come out and said that they wanted Black Adam in Shazam, and he blocked it. I mean, he was like, no, like he had his own vision for the character. They went with it. So I think if the movie does well, I could see Dwayne being a lot more involved in the whole
movies.
universe. So I mean, like him being the Tony Stark, of the DC, like, or the Robert Downey Jr., kind of being the catalyst for the whole universe, and it all kind of tying back to him for sure.
Then we get Ryan Reynolds back.
I'd be down to see him back as Green Lantern. Not the way he was in the movie, but I love Ryan Reynolds. So,
we touched on it last week. The Ryan Reynolds, and
then did you see the second one they released? The second video?
I have not.
So the video you were talking about, the teaser, just showed Hugh Jackman walk in, and he was like, "Sure, Ryan, like I'll do it." Well, then like the next day they released a clip of them both sitting on the couch. And they're both all excited. They're like, we know you got lots of questions. And they were kind of started talking about, they said they weren't going to touch on X-Men or that Logan took place in 2029. It has nothing. They're not going to touch that. Like it has nothing to do with what this separate. And we're just kind of talking about the movies. And then they were like, what you are going to see. And then they start talking and it starts playing this loud music track over them talking. So you can't hear anything, but you just see them like throwing their hands up and like, Hugh Jackman was like acting like he's slicing Ryan, they're just teasing all the stuff, but it was just a very Deadpool-esque way to do a teaser. So I'm excited for that. I do think, I mean, just to kind of go into Marvel, so Black Panther released a new trailer this morning, and I think that they're going to honor Chadwick the right way, and I actually think that one is going to be, I mean, there's some hype around that one too. Not as much. I mean, it's a little further away, so I think the marketing is just now going to start ramping up.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to be really, really, really good.
Yeah, I'm excited. Especially if they go the route we think they're going to go with the sister. But I think you have to pay tribute to Chadwick Boseman. I definitely think they'll do it the right way because Black Panther is arguably one of the best films of that universe. So,
Chadwick Boseman was
I'm looking forward to Halloween Ends. That's coming up next week. 2 weeks.
I thought it was ended already, but apparently not.
No.
This is supposed to be the last one.
This is the last one.
So they remake it again.
They can't remake it. It's James. This is it. Like it's.
Didn't one just come out last year?
Yeah. It's
a continuation of that one.
Well, it's 1978, the original one.
It's a continuation of it. They caught him, right? Unmasked him and everything.
I don't think so.
Not in the latest one, I don't think.
So you had 1978 original Halloween, and then all the stupid ones in between. And then, so they skipped all those. So they went from 1978 to 2018, and then the 2021, and then the 2022. This is the final one.
Didn't the NBC one, didn't they unmask him and because everyone was there around him, they shot him and all that stuff?
NBC? Who's NBC?
The new Halloween movie that was on NBC.
Oh,
on Peacock.
oh, that might be Halloween Ends. That's 2018. No, Halloween Kills was the last one. I don't know.
I thought at the end of it, I thought they took Michael's mask off, and he was there with several people around him, and they like shot him and everything.
Wasn't it the cop? I can't remember. In the mask, I had to go back and watch the other two, but I thought that somebody else had the mask on. It wasn't him. Might have been the cop. I had to go back and look. But and then there was one other movie. Lyle the Crocodile is gonna be phenomenal.
Oh,
Lyle Crocodile. I think that's gonna be really good.
I'm just ready for Top Gun to come out on streaming so I can watch it again.
It's on Mamba. I've watched it 6 or 7 times in 4K. Absolutely amazing. No buffering. I love it because that intro plays with Top Gun. That that intro, and then Paisley comes running because she's like she'll come sing Danger Zone because she knows the whole song. So my 3-year-old loves Top Gun. Yeah. That's it pretty much from my movie. Whoa. What happened there?
You hitting the table.
Oh, I'm just trying to sit on my leg, bro. My feet are falling asleep.
More like he super kicked it.
Yeah, I don't know. You might have to tell C-Dub
I slapped the leg. Oh, just kidding, C-Dub.
Well,
yeah, I'm a little behind on my movie watching. I was hoping to have some time this past weekend to catch up on some movies and TVs, but I was in Atlanta. I'm a big Braves fan, so I went to the Mets Braves game 1 Friday night.
Congratulations,
sweet, man.
by the way.
Sweet.
An amazing game. Atmosphere was electric. I actually had some buddies that I didn't know were actually there too, and we found out after the game that we were both at the game and was messaging. I mean, it was just a very intense atmosphere. I mean, it definitely felt like playoffs, which is pretty much what it was for the Braves. I mean, the Braves, they did end up sweeping the Mets, so they own the tiebreaker, and they're up 2 games. So all we need is a Braves win the next 3 games or a Mets loss, and they clinch second place, which gives them a bye. And more importantly, we stay away from the Dodgers if we win the first round. So I went to that, and then I spent all day Saturday at Six Flags in Atlanta.
How was that?
So I'd never been. I actually really, really had a good time. So kind of like, so Disney obviously has, I mean, their whole parks are around their movies, and then you have Universal, which has a lot of themes. I didn't really know much about Six Flags, so they actually have a whole like DC section.
Yep.
Which was kind of neat because I'm a big DC fan. What I was really surprised in was that I've been to Disney and Universal, and Carowinds. I mean, Carowinds is kind of close, and this was probably the part that I went to where I waited the least to ride the rides. I mean, lines moved pretty fast. I mean, all the rides. I think like maybe 20 minutes was the most we waited in the line. There was one ride that said it was 80. We didn't ride that one. We didn't even get in line to try to ride that one. We just did everything, but we didn't. Met some family there, and we didn't actually start riding rides, I think, till like 5 o'clock because they stayed up until 11, and it was themed for Halloween, like kind of like Scare Winds, like Fright Fest, and so they stayed up until 11. So we really only rode rides from 5 to 11, and pretty much rode whatever we wanted to. Didn't have no issues. It wasn't like we just paid and got there and rode 2 rides, but I had a blast. Tired, but had a blast. And then we came back Sunday, so I hadn't really had a lot of time to. Thought I was gonna have some time in the hotel room, but we were pretty much getting in at midnight every night and getting to bed at like 1 or 2, and then having to get up at 10 the next morning to do whatever we had planned next.
Yeah, that's gonna be how a week is next week. Universal. Long nights, early mornings. Ugh. Speaking of Crown Jewel.
But it's interesting, man. So like, I'm a Yankee fan. You hate the Yankees.
Despise.
I hate the Braves. It's no love lost. 96. It goes back. I think it's a real possibility. I love what the Yankees are doing right now in the American League. I love Aaron Judge. I think what he's doing, he's having an absolutely impeccable season. Definitely trying to get that money.
Does he get to 62?
Yes. If he's pitched to. If he's pitched to, yes. If he's walked 4
Everyone's
times a
gonna
game,
walk 'em.
that would be
funny.
something. I'm going to laugh into if he just walks out of the zone and just knocks out the park. But so Aaron Judge is very likable. I think the Yankees made a mistake here, not signing him.
I think he's gone.
I think he's gone. And I think this was just a screw you. Watch what I'm going to do year. And he went out and, he's having the year he's
61
having.
home runs.
Yeah, only. Batting above 300. It's to have that kind of year, he's going to get paid. He's going to have a $350 million contract. He's 30, 29, 30. So he's definitely going to get a 6-7 year deal. What's $350 million over 7 years? Yeah,
It's up there.
he's going to get it. And deservingly so. And now, there's only a certain handful of teams that could do this besides New York. You got Dodgers in the National League. That would be formidable. Atlanta has a lot of money. You imagine Aaron Judge in the Atlanta Braves?
No, I'd
cry.
They have the money for sure. I mean,
Yes.
they could do it.
Boston?
I don't see it. Boston, I could see it happening.
Boston
with
would do it just to stick it to the Yankees.
Oh, well, don't think the Yankees haven't done it to Boston before.
Oh, I know.
But I don't-
Johnny Damon.
Well, God, the rubber arm himself. I couldn't stand if any ball was hit to Johnny Damon in the outfield, and I had to rely on somebody throwing into the plate. It was a rainbow. But
I don't see Atlanta doing it though at all.
Everyone knows.
I would love to see.
Everyone knew
No, I wouldn't.
Johnny Damon wasn't there for his defense, though.
No, he was there. He's a base runner.
Base runner.
Definitely a base runner, leadoff hitter. But I love Johnny Damon to this day. But the Yankees went in there after Boston was in on Mark Teixeira at the time, and CC Sabathia. Boston wanted them, and Yankees weren't even in the running for them, and all of a sudden they signed. So Yankees have to pony up some money here. Now, I think he's gone, but money at the end of the day is what speaks the most volumes here. So the Yankees aren't going to, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. They're not going to just let him go without fighting. But
I know where you were going. You were saying it's a real strong possibility we could see Yankees Braves in the World Series.
I think so. Dodgers are really hot.
So it's
I do not let the regular season records speak for this. This is playoff
They
baseball.
definitely couldn't do that last year.
No. And they Dodge, like we were talking this earlier, the Braves, they're without Freddie Freeman, but you can make the argument they're a better team now than they were last year. Even when they had Freddie Freeman.
Olsen's pretty much on par with Freeman. He's hit 30 home runs this year. And then, like last year we didn't have Acuna was hurt for the whole playoff run. So that's could be the Braves' best player on, at the bat. Batting and in the outfield.
What's his name who got on fire during the playoffs last year?
Yeah, they have. So again, I don't put much stock in regular season stuff anyway. Dodgers have the best record in baseball,
110 wins or something like that.
But if you look, so the Braves, the Braves were 10 games behind the Mets in June, and now they're in first place. If you look at, like I said, you can, with stats, you can pick and choose how you want to manipulate it. But since June, the Braves actually have the best record in baseball.
Yep.
They've gotten hot as long as they stay hot.
I would love, it's just as a nostalgia feeling, Yankees Braves. There's just something magical there. I'd love to see it. I think you see a 6 or 7 game series. It'd be interesting. I love Yankees pitching. Nestor Cortez is absolutely phenomenal. As the one. I think. So
the
Braves
Braves
shows up.
So that was the thing with the Mets. So what made the sweep all that more impressive this weekend was that the Braves went against DeGrom Friday night, Scherzer Saturday,
Yeah.
and then Bassett, I think, on Sunday. And so, I mean, it was supposed to be, that's the Mets' strength is their pitching, and the Braves' strength is obviously their bats. I mean, they have I think the most home runs in baseball by like a decent chunk. And so, I mean,
But the Braves bats against the Yankees pitching, I want to, dude. You Nestor Cortez, and then you got Garrett Cole. I'm intrigued. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. Bats versus pitching. That's what I want to see. Talk some football. A little bit of football. Bring us home.
Can.
Start us off, Jonathan.
Gamecocks got their game moved up to Thursday, so we can start there. I mean, that was kind of the first college game of the week. SC State.
SC State.
Yep.
Looked good. I mean, final score 50-10. I mean, that's what I would expect playing, a lower opponent. So I mean, at least it wasn't a disappointment, or it wasn't a close game. I mean, I think they're starting to improve.
You'll notice on this program too, y'all. We're all obviously from South Carolina, so we're going to talk mostly about Gamecocks and Clemson. When it comes to college football, we'll allude to other things that might surprise us, but yeah. But I was impressed, as much as can be. It's tough to be a Gamecock fan.
I didn't watch the game. I actually was watching the Cincinnati game and fell asleep. Bengals.
I was watching both.
Bengals Broncos. I'm a fan of the Amazon Prime.
I got into that.
Primecast.
I watched that. I was like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah, you told me about it, and I went, pulled it up, the Primecast, where it did do a good job of showing where each player was at and their names, and I mean it was different.
And it shows their stats and stuff on the side. I'm a fan of it. I like it. I'm also a fan of Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit.
Facts.
Oh, I like Kirk.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Kirk Herbstreit. I was a little upset on College Game Day because Pat McAfee pause for the cause. 25-year DX reunion next week on Monday Night Raw.
Does Tony Khan let Billy Gunn show up?
He's not on that poster, so
okay.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. I doubt they even reached out to him. I doubt they reached out to Billy Gunn.
Okay.
But
I think Billy Gunn's on the episode.
But just like, so they showed it earlier, but just like AEW is advertising Wednesday as their 3-year anniversary show, next week's Raw was the season premiere.
Yes, the season premiere. Yeah. Yep.
Clemson game?
Well, but back to what I was saying, I'm a big fan of Herbstreit. I was a little upset at College Game Day. Pat McAfee picked the NC State Wolfpack over the Clemson Tigers.
Loser would he ever do?
And Hall of Fame punter.
Well, nominated.
Yeah.
But he deserves to get in.
But man, Clemson played a heck of a game. DJ keeps looking good. The guy cut weight this year.
What'd you say, 20 pounds? 25
lost
pounds?
20 pounds. He's able to move better. He doesn't mind running the ball now. Everyone said that when it came to running last year, he didn't want to run at all. I don't know if that's because of his knee issue, if he was scared. I'm not sure what all that entailed, but man, he's running the ball with some authority, getting his 220-some pound frame behind him. Man, getting some good yardage. He's not fast. He's not.
Nobody's smart.
Not fast, and not. I wouldn't even say really elusive. But he's able to get those 3 or 4 yards that you need here and there, and defense is banged up. Brian Brzee, we missed him on the defensive line. He had a health scare during the week. Had to get some blood work done, and what came back, they kept him out of the game, which I'm sure scared his family with the loss of his sister recently to cancer, and everything. Speaking of Halloween Ends preview right now, showing on TV.
It looks incredible.
Xavier Thomas, our starting defensive end, he's still out, senior. Hoping to get him back soon.
37 consecutive home wins.
37 consecutive home wins in Death Valley. And we also, our defensive backs are depleted right now. We played with, I think, 4 freshmen in the game at defensive back. But, there's some immaturity there. People make a routine play and they want to celebrate when, hey, it's just a routine play. No need to try and flex. They had one time, went to try and jump a route and get a pick six and ended up biting us in the butt, and NC State gets the first down. Whenever, if we'd have just focused on the ball and tried to knock it down, they'd have been punting. So there's some immaturity there. The officiating to me was kind of rough on both sides of the ball as far as NC State and Clemson. I felt like there were some calls that were made that were just not good calls for either team, as well as some calls that could have been made for both teams. So overall, Clemson gets the win. They were up by 17, gave up a touchdown with like 30 or 40 seconds left in the game. Big win, though. Clemson is still number 5 as of Sunday when I looked, which kind of surprised me. Alabama and Georgia switched because Georgia almost crapped the bed.
That's the next game
Missouri.
I want to talk to. So how about that Georgia? It was 26-22. Number 2 Georgia over unranked Missouri. Georgia did not lead this game until the fourth quarter.
4 minutes left in the game.
And so regardless of what the final score tells you, I think Missouri was the better team for this game.
Yeah.
So that, like I said earlier, I didn't. So
I wanted to see Georgia lose so bad.
I didn't really watch much football this week, just with me being out of town and just being busy. But the things that stood out when I was just kind of checking scores and highlights were definitely the Georgia game was one, it being so close. And then TCU trouncing Oklahoma was a big shock.
Oklahoma's lost 2 games this year.
And then I know the final score of the Alabama-Arkansas game was out of
Bryce Young got hurt,
but it was close for a while because they had it play in. We grabbed something to eat and they had it play in just while we were eating, and it was, I think they were only, Arkansas was only down by a few points, and then and Bryce got hurt, and it was close for a little while, but then I guess that was the last I saw, and then I saw the final score, so Alabama definitely pulled ahead.
I said earlier it was the Cincinnati Broncos game, but it was the Cincinnati Dolphins game, I believe.
Yep, Tua.
And Tua,
Man,
prayers for him. He
that guy got fired.
Yeah,
from Miami.
Third party consultant or external whatever. Yeah, he got fired.
Deservingly so, man. He was the right to win that game.
But I'm still on that boat. To last week, there was a lot made of Tua stumbling, and they were saying that he went through all the concussion protocol. So I was actually watching the Dolphins game last week, and there was a play like a goal line sneak where Tua got bent back. So I could very easily see him tweaking his back at some point, and then the play where he got up and kind of stumbled. He said after that. That's what he said after the game was like, I had hurt my back a few plays earlier. It was more of my back giving out. So I easily, because I was watching the game, I know exactly what play he could have hurt his back on. So I could see that being a reason. So I'm not saying he didn't have a concussion that game, but I also find it very believable that it wasn't the concussion that caused him to stumble last week's game. And if that's the case, if he hit, there's still he might not have been playing this week if he had a back injury. But if he passed all the concussion stuff last week and throughout the week, I mean,
it's not even hard to pass concussion protocol, man.
I mean, I don't think, if everything looked okay and it was all his back, I mean, I don't see them being a reason for him not to play this week. But it didn't look good when he got this week when he took the sack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it triggered a nervous they said what it triggered, but I can't remember. Sorry, guys. Well, it's just a pink screen.
Mm-hmm. There's a secret message. Sign of things to come.
Pink.
Let's match her gear.
Alexa Bliss is wearing pink.
Pepto-Bismol.
Matching her gear.
Dakota Kai's hair's pink.
So yeah, prayers to Tua, man. Like, it didn't look good. I hear he is out this coming week, right?
He's already been out. He's already been announced out for this week versus the Jets,
which he needs to be.
Shane, you got a score update.
Yeah. Surprisingly here, the 49ers are destroying the Rams 24-9 with 2 minutes left. This Rams team does not. What is going on in LA, Jonathan? They are not the Super Bowl team here. And what many people had as the Super Bowl favorites in the NFC.
My takeaway from this score is that it looks like Cooper Rush may be 4-0 as a starter next week.
Hey, that brings to a good point here.
And then he gets replaced by Dak when Dak returns, which is stupid.
Oh, so you're coming on my side now?
No, I completely agree with you on that.
Oh, I thought I was all by myself here. There are a lot of fans in Cowboy Nation here that are starting to see a pattern. Okay, there's a pattern in Dallas, and it's management, it's ball security, it's not making forced throws, it's playing intelligently, and the team is uniting behind it. Now, a lot of the Dallas Cowboy players on the roster will be like, you know what, there's no quarterback controversy here. Dak's our guy. That may well may well be. He got paid $160 million for what, 6 years for a reason. 5 years, 6 years.
Overpaid, but
no. I think he got paid deservingly. But at the end of the day, you go down with an injury. You go down. You have an injury history. You're going down. A guy comes in, and a team is now 3 consecutive wins with Cooper Rush. He improves to 4-0 as a starting quarterback in the NFL. His completion percentage is there. He's thrown 230, 240 yards a game, a touchdown, 2 touchdowns a game. Has not thrown an interception yet. And the team's winning. So at the end of the day, all I care about as a fan is wins. I don't care how it gets there. The fact is it's winning, and the hot hand, it's Cooper Rush. The team's clicking on all cylinders, not to take away from this fact that Dallas's defense is the most prolific it's been in probably 10 years. Defense looks amazing. Now, Dak's trying to come back against the Rams. My gut tells me to let Cooper Rush play against the Rams. I want to see what Cooper Rush does against the Rams.
Dak won't be back this week.
Well,
here's why
I think he's going to try.
Here's why I say Dak Prescott did not deserve the contract he got.
This is going to interest me.
He's 1-3 in the playoffs.
Well, it's the going rate for a starting quarterback. He's the franchise quarterback. I mean, you're going to pay for a franchise quarterback. No matter if you're on the worst team in the NFL, it's 0-17. I mean, if you have a franchise quarterback, let me back up. A franchise player in any position, you have that one player, regardless of what they've done, they're going to get paid that contract. That's just my gut instinct with it. So Zeke got his big contract. Now don't get me started on Ezekiel Elliott. That's the one I put him on the trading block. We have Tony Pollard. I wish we could offload his whole salary. Somebody needs a starting running back somewhere. I would love Zeke out of it. And I love Zeke. but he needs to go.
So here's my honest breakdown of the Dak Cooper Rush situation, because we've kind of talked.
We've been talking a couple weeks about this.
So I am in the boat that I agree with Elliot. I don't think Dak deserved the contract that he got. I've never been a huge just believer in Dak in general.
I thought he was decent at Mississippi State. I didn't think he was great. He came to Dallas. He's had some shining moments, had some good regular seasons, but he's 1-3 in the postseason. That's my problem.
But I also know, like Shane said, franchise QB,
Franchise player.
Franchise player. He's got a lot of fan support. I mean, he sells jerseys. I mean, there's a lot of other things that go into it.
He's very Tony
when you get to a professional level.
He's very Tony Romo-esque.
Merchandise moving does matter. I agree.
Yeah. So
he reminds me of Tony Romo.
So but I don't necessarily like when they were deciding if they were going to pay him or not, or let him, trade him or let him walk. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he's deserving of the contract, and I can, as a Titans fan, I loved Mariota. I loved him in college. Yeah. He got drafted. I loved him. He made some amazing plays as a Titan fan. When they signed Tannehill, they all came out and said he was the backup. I mean, he was just there. It took when Tannehill came in and started playing and was kind of taking over for Mariota. It hurt a little bit because I was a big fan. I mean, my wife is still a big fan of Mariota. She pulled for the Raiders last year. She's pulling for the Falcons this year. Partly because of just who he is as a person off the field. But Tannehill gave us the best chance of winning. I mean, you could see it. Mariota was more athletic. Well, I don't know. I mean, Tannehill's pretty athletic, but when I watched the games, you could just tell there was something different with Tannehill. Like he just gave us the best shot at winning. And that's where I stand. So I could see where fans, because Dallas is winning, they could just say, look what you're saying, just stick with the hot hand. We're winning with Cooper Rush and stuff like that.
Until he loses. That's all.
But what I see in Tannehill is not what I see in Cooper Rush. Like, Cooper Rush has not done anything watching him where I'm like, okay, he's a starting QB in the NFL. Like,
he hasn't turned the ball over. That's enough for me. So going back to Tony Romo.
Doesn't have the it factor.
Yeah,
I would agree with that.
It's just something missing. But you were talking about the team rallying. But do you think they're rallying behind Rush or they're rallying because Dak is hurt?
Could be both. But going back to quarterbacks, so Tony Romo, I think, is one of the best regular season quarterbacks in Dallas Cowboy history, right? Stat-wise there. But he got a 6-year, $108 million contract. And what was his playoff record? 2-4. So it seems to be like a plague in Dallas with playoff wins, period.
That's a Dallas thing. That's not a QB thing.
That's what I just said. It seems a regular thing in Dallas. So it's something that's plagued Dallas for years. It's interesting parts about to happen on WWE Raw.
At least we think it is. We saw
Dallas performs in the playoffs like Tony Khan drinking water at a post conference.
Yeah, they do the same thing. It looked like he was doing too.
Joke.
Yeah. You're about to see lights go out. Okay, so lights are gonna go out. Lights are gonna come back on. She's gonna be evil laughing. Watch. Calling it. But yeah, that's my take on Dallas Cowboys. I do want to see Tony Romo sit out against this game with and let Cooper Rush go against the Rams.
Tony Romo sit out? I think Tony Romo has been sitting out for a couple of years.
Guys, you got me all excited. Think about Romo coming back.
Oscar's coming down with a bum leg.
Regardless, I think Dak Prescott needs to sit out this game. And I want to see what Cooper Rush does against the Rams. So that's my take. Because you got the Rams and then the Eagles. So if Cooper Rush,
Jalen Hurts is killing it.
Yeah,
right now.
if Cooper Rush beats the Rams, do you let Cooper Rush go against the Philadelphia Eagles regardless of Dak injury? Yes.
I don't know if you let him, but I'll. So I'm not on board with Cooper now. But if Cooper beats the Rams and starts against Philly and somehow pulls it out against Philly,
ooh,
I may start to
trouble
change
in
my
paradise
mind on that.
Amen.
Just because think Philly's by far and away the best team in the division right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Until they play Dallas.
Offense, defense.
This Dallas defense is what I want to see. So that's my take.
Well, guys, if you don't have anything else, man, it's been a long one, but it's been a good one tonight. As always, we appreciate your time. I'm Elliot.
I'm Shane.
And I'm Jonathan.
This has been the Lowdown Popcast, and as always, guys, let's keep it popping.